I can tell who's on the way out. 25 show, check the payout. I ain't going home, I'ma stay out. Motherfuckers hate you when they looking for a way out. I just sit back and let it play out. Yeah, she gon' let me hit it any day now. What you gonna say now? My ex-girl got a bait now, but she still let me stay now. I got a Dallas and a H-Town boo. Got a baddie out in Cape Town too. Whole gang eating steakhouse food. Get the check, I ain't checking what it came out to. I tell promoters I don't talk about the money. You know who they hand the envelope to. Big John got the cash and he been the go-to. Heard the beat told Nicky put it in the Pro Tools. Got a fountain on the chain and it's indigo blue. Might fuck around and get a gold tooth. I'm a restaurant goer, never been a Whole Foods. She gon' listen to the song, say this shit a whole move. I'm in the mountains out west on the tour bus texting the chick I used to mess with. Got her in the bed doing video shoots. Tried to send one to me, but it didn't go through. Damn, she gon' let me hit it any day now. What you gonna say now? My ex-girl got a bait now, but she still let me stay now. I can tell who's on the way out. 25 show, check the payout. I ain't going home, I'ma stay out. Motherfuckers hate you when they looking for a way out. I just sit back and let it play out. Yeah, she gon' let me hit it any day now. What you gonna say now? My ex-girl got a bait now, but she still let me stay now.
Yeah, I get paid to do me, that's a fact check. I run it up, then retrace my last steps. I'm in the eardrums talking about assets. Do you wanna? Hold up, I ain't even asked yet. She got her hair done, she finna need it redone. Boy, that pussy so good. Stuck it in, damn, that almost made me pre-cum. I let her give me some advice like I need some. Booked up, tell a dumb bitch read some. I'm anointed, I'm the boss, I done came out of pocket so much. You thought that I was disjointed. They pointed me towards your diss, I'm disappointed. My ex treat me like I ain't there. What happened to the feelings and love that we still share? Just like the girls who got my name tatted and covered up, I know deep down under the surface it's still there, still
she
there.
She gon' let me hit it any day now. What you gonna say now? My ex-girl got a bait now, but she still let me stay now. I can tell who's on the way out. 25 show, check the payout. I ain't going home, I'ma stay out. Motherfuckers hate you when they looking for a way out. I just sit back and let it play out. She gon' let me hit it any day now. What you gonna say now? My ex-girl got a bait now, but she still let me stay now.
Welcome to the Wind Up Podcast, brought to you by Issa Cookies, C4 Bat Company, Abercrombie & Sanchez Law Firm, the Houston Hustlers Baseball Academy, Texas Baseball Tournaments, Senor Spitz Custom Flavored Sunflower Seeds, Diego Cervantes State Farm Agent, Rick Web Design, and Tifosi Optics. I'm your host, Steve Medina, along with our producer, Julio Ramirez, and my co-host, the Versace Mariachi, the king of all select baseball. Media,
hell yeah, and I'm right next to the other king right here tonight, live
tonight in person in studio. Everybody's favorite tournament director, Mr. From Perfect Game, Mr. Darren Larson. Darren, how you doing today, sir?
Really good, man.
Good. Well, so we're here a week before the biggest tournament in the country. Can I say the country? Yeah, because I looked at all the numbers today and I was like, man, there's no way anybody can. I'm just gonna say get close to that. I mean, that's impressive. I mean,
I need some teams to drop, honestly.
No, you don't.
Also, the reason I'm here is we have a little want ad for umpires.
Oh, okay.
We need some umpires next weekend.
Cool.
If you're in Alabama, Oklahoma, want to come in, hotels, let's go.
Hey, it's gonna be big, dude.
Yeah, no, it is gonna be big. So we're here. So he's here to talk about that. We're also here to talk about some select baseball in general, and then what's just going on around city with as far as select baseball is concerned. So, we started on time today, Julio. Man, that's
yeah, we sure did.
That's
damn,
that's a first.
Right on the dot.
I think we started on time, like maybe our first two shows, and then after that, man, we were kind of wishy-washy at best.
Yeah.
And But yeah, man. So I was okay. So COVID's over now.
Yeah.
Is it?
I think
Well,
so.
because man,
It's been over for a while.
Dude, traffic.
I can only go by traffic.
Traffic,
Yeah,
dude.
that's exactly.
If I'm talking about COVID in regards to traffic, then COVID is over.
It's like the winter storm that everybody was off that week, and then everybody thought, you know what? Everybody go back to work.
Dude, I exited 59 and 6 today, right there by in Sugarland, Highway 6, right there by the mall and everything. And dude, it was packed at like 12:30 today, and I was like, man, I just couldn't believe it.
Yeah, it was packed.
And then, but that wasn't the only place that was packed. I mean, everywhere I went today, it was packed with traffic. And then also, not only that, every food place that I passed by too, it's like everybody came out to eat today. And so, I was pretty impressed, man. I was pretty impressed. And so, but that's just how it goes, man.
Hey, you're right about traffic.
Yeah, traffic was bad. And so, but that's just how it goes. How did everybody here fare on the winter storm? All of what? We got 2 inches of snow?
Yeah.
2 inches of snow.
2 inches of snow. I got pictures, man. The road right in front of us was like covered, bro. It was ice.
In ice or
yeah,
snow?
yeah, for sure.
Okay. Who here lost power? Everybody lost power?
Yeah.
About like 8 hours, maybe.
For real?
8 hours.
My
2
wife,
hours.
My wife lost it for 24 hours.
Oh, damn.
Man,
Where were you at? You were saving baseball. Darren was.
I had to work.
Or did you go to Cancun? Did you go to Cancun too?
I was slightly north of there, and so.
But yeah, man. So I didn't have power for like 2 days. When you add them all together, right? So we were going really strong, and then like at 2:00 in the morning, that sucker just turned off, and I was like, man, okay, well, if I'm going off of Twitter, then I'm gonna get light back here pretty soon.
Yeah.
Man, I didn't get light back till 1:00 the next day. Okay, so I'm up 1:00 the next morning. Excuse me. So I'm up, and the lights come on. I'm like, hell yeah. The AC starts pumping. The heater starts coming in a little bit. I put on the TV, and I'm getting relaxed. Like an hour and a half, it went out. I was like, dude. And then I didn't get it till like the next day at 7:00.
And it's not.
Damn.
If you live up north or whatever, you leave your water running a little bit, and you're like, okay, it's gonna be fine. You're not expecting like the city to stop the water.
Exactly.
I mean, usually at your house, yeah, you messed up, but yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, so I lost that, but I always had water and I always had gas. And so I'm looking at TV and they're like, man, do not run your stove, do not run your oven. Man, dude, that's how I grew up. Shoot, all those 4 burners were on. My house was warm.
Yeah.
So I didn't have a problem.
Well, I mean, if you can make your food, why can't you run it during the day, right?
And it's funny, man, because I have some. I saw the dog, my vegan dog neighbor. I saw him for the first time in a while. Remember that story?
Oh man.
Because I walked outside and it didn't matter how cold it was. People with dogs were still walking their dogs, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm outside and I see this little vegan dog coming in, and I'm talking to my neighbor, and she's like, "Oh, I don't have no water. I don't have light." And I'm like, "Man, my bad." And so, but that's how it went on my end. How about you, Julio?
We lost power about 2 hours.
That's it.
That's it.
Damn.
Nice. How about you?
Man, like I said, it wasn't too bad. I mean, the water line froze, but nothing really major. I just shut the water line off. I was like, screw that. I'm
Did
not
you
playing
really?
around. Yeah.
Man, what's up, Charles? Hey, what's up, Beth? How you doing?
So,
Dave.
yeah,
Diego.
I mean, it went pretty good.
Oh, for real? Yeah.
I mean, it was badass. It's badass when like you have light and internet, and then everybody's like posting about how shitty it is. And I'm just like, yeah.
Yeah. So I thought I was gonna make it, and then the folks at T-Mobile and Sprint, man, my phone was terrible, bro.
As soon as we lost power, my phone went.
My phone was terrible, and I was just like, dude, how can that happen? I thought I was back in like 1991.
Like the first thing I did was like, as soon as we lost power, I got the modem back up.
Did you really?
Yeah. Because man, it was bad.
And I was like, dude, this can't really happen. But obviously it did, and so it is what it is. But my thing about this whole situation was, thank God everybody made it through and all that. And man, it was funny because people were still talking about, hey, when's practice, when's this, when's that, and I'm like, dude, you got to chill on that, bro.
Yeah, for
But,
sure.
But that's how it is, man. So I'm glad everybody, got through it. With the COVID year, it's probably, we're probably gonna get about 2 or 3 hurricanes now. I mean, shit, it snowed, and so so you never know, man. But we're back. It's good to be back. The tournament. How many teams are playing this week, Derek?
I have 375.
375.
Lisa's got 100, and then I think Morgan's got.
I think your phone's on, bro.
Oh,
I was watching my son hit.
Oh hell yeah. Put it on.
It's
Is he playing live right now?
yeah.
Oh, hey, send Julio the link. We'll put it on the screen.
No, his girlfriend sends me videos.
Oh, okay. Well, we can put it on if you want.
Yeah, we're good. So no, I got 375. Lisa's got right around 100, and then Morgan over in Beaumont's got like 125.
Nice.
So
nice. That's a pretty good showing right there. Hell. So Julio, hold on. Nah, we're gonna get a hurricane anyway.
Yeah.
I just saw what Alyssa put on there about the hurricane, but no, I think a hurricane's actually gonna come. But we'll see what happens, man. But let's dive into the NIT, man. Over 700 teams, is that correct?
right, I mean we're showing 750 right now. Usually we'll have a drop in that number,
Okay.
but Amanda's saying pretty much no one's dropping. So
Okay.
like it needs to drop.
Yeah.
I mean, just a little bit. There's I think we're close to like 500 paid teams right now.
Okay.
And so then the other 250 are normal, like the local teams and stuff like that usually pay the week of or at the event. We're just trying to get everybody paid in advance just because it's too hard. We can't be collecting money that much money. On the
Yeah,
weekend.
and I was going to ask you that if teams decide that they're going to pay on the week of or when they get there, how do you disperse people? I mean, is it the individual, I guess, lead person at the complex? Are they in charge of getting all the money, or
Normally, like with our old staff and that we had, they were really like, yeah, everybody can pay there at the park, all of that. Now that we're with PG, it's just that's not the way it goes. And Scooter's been doing a great job for me. He's our new operations guy in town, so he's really being trained to run everything. He handles all the money, so he does a great job of getting more and more people to pay online.
Okay.
And so that way we have very little cash or checks on the weekend, just because he has to enter that into the books a certain way, and it's a pain.
Okay.
So it's like I'd say the vast majority of it now is all getting paid online.
okay?
And when's the deadline?
Last Tuesday.
Hell
So what's the real deadline?
I mean,
Next Friday?
What's the real deadline?
I mean, I had a couple teams today. I had to call them that normally pay it. Have to normally pay it in the major teams. I'm like, dude, you gotta pay. What? I'm like, dude, you're being unreasonable. Like, I can't. We have to have it before that we can do the schedules. And so like we got it all worked out. So all the majors teams are paid, and so 100%. So those schedules are being done right now. And so I think the 14s and the 13s are done. They're getting them online, and Lee's working on the 12-year-olds right now.
Okay, so all schedules will be up Monday?
No, tomorrow. The 14s and 13s are out.
So they're out now. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
14s are out for sure right now.
Okay. Well, let's
13,
pull it up.
13s are close to being out. They're done. They just haven't been inputted yet. And then when I was pulling in, me and Lee were talking
65
about,
teams, bro, for the 14U.
Where are they going to be at?
Shield Road Park. Where's that at?
Off of 290,
290.
outside 99.
Cool.
So most of them are the 6 fields at Premier, a few fields at Shield Road. I think we might be at Cotton Ranch, and then I think
you got some
and then
Premier,
some
yeah.
games at Sealy too. Just to be, we try to get them as much on turf as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I was, what do you, I mean, okay, when do you start working on getting all these fields? Is it 2 months out, 3 months out, or some of the like Baseball USA you already do business with and stuff like that?
Normally, like in a normal year, I mean, pretty much I have relationships with everybody, so everybody's already kind of understood what I've got as a basis. And so this year with Lisa coming on board, I pretty much in advance. Like last year we had 531. I didn't have access to Lisa's fields.
Okay.
And so this year I'm like, hey, make sure you have these. And I gave her a checklist of fields 6 months ago, right?
Okay.
And she normally has the fields, and so a month ago we really started dialing them in. And so we've got Magnolia that we normally don't use, Lindsay Lyons, Bayer Park up there in spring, and then we picked up Conroe. We lost a park this week because of the freeze over 2 weeks. So we picked up Carl Barton up in Conroe.
Okay.
So that gave me another 9 fields. And then we're just I got Spring Spirit, which is all turf. I mean, that thing's $250 a game. I mean, it's just we needed an extra field though, right? So
That's a loss leader.
yeah, so like we need a field. So like, hey, I'm gonna whatever I got to do. And then Crosby, I've got Crosby on Sunday, the 4 turf fields. So we'll try to mix some fields that we were on dirt on Saturday, and maybe get them over there on some teams. But usually, I think those are gonna be mostly AA, AAA's over there on this Sunday.
Okay.
Laporte, did you get Laporte too?
No, we have Laporte all the time. Me and Nick and those guys over there. I mean, We actually were in the process of getting dirt onto all the fields, like 30 truckloads before the storm. Now it's kind of thrown everything off because now they're working on water and the rest of it. So I think within the next 3-4 weeks, it won't happen by next week. We're going to put a bunch of dirt out there and renovate those fields quite a bit.
Okay.
I have a question right now. Somebody said that they heard there's no restrooms or concessions at Baseball USA this weekend. Any truth to that?
No, yes and no.
Okay.
So like the pavilion, the main pavilion's got all the water and bathrooms and all of that.
Okay.
The stadium one by Field 1, I think it might be done by tomorrow, but there's Porta Can over there.
Yeah.
And then
that's been out for a while though. That was out a couple of weeks ago when I was.
And then the back, I don't think those are working right now. They might be by the morning.
Okay.
But we'll have some Porta Cans throughout the facility. But the pavilion the water is working.
Okay. But they will be hopefully online next week. Maybe?
Yeah, they should be by then.
Okay, cool.
And so they've been working hard on those all week because they got flooded out pretty good. And so, but the pavilion, that's where the main bathrooms are at anyway.
Yeah. That's where all the action is too.
Yeah, no, it is. Now, okay, umpires. You good on umpires? How many do you need?
Dude,
May as well get it out the way.
No, it's you just never know, man, until we start getting that final crunch. Like last year, we had 531 games. Our teams in town. We had probably the least. I mean, we had the best umpires we had for the whole year. All the major divisions had really good umpires. We had 3-man crews on probably 15 to 20 fields last year. On those, just we'd have extra guys in the park, and then I'm paying them anyways to get on the field. Yeah. So getting right now being to where between me and Lisa, I had Lisa post an event also,
Okay.
which may end up having. We'll see what happens with that, but so that way the teams that were just wanting a smaller event because that's somewhere to play. So I think between us, I mean, we'll be 750 to 800 teams between us no matter what.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. So like getting the umpires is definitely going to be the issue because I can get to about 850 on fields. 850 teams based on fields.
Okay.
But like enough umpires for that, that's not fun.
So, how many umpires are you looking at? Over 1,000?
No, you've got to have for that for 100. You got to have 100. We're shooting for 120 fields covered.
Okay.
So that's 240 guys.
Yeah, okay,
and so realistically you need 260, and so you got to have about 260 guys. And so which is nobody really can handle that. I mean, my guy that comes out of Waco that does all my umpires. He does a better job than everybody else we've had because he's got contacts all over. He brings guys in, so like sometimes they're a little rough, but most of them do a pretty good job. And then the Tasso guys in town, Charlie Strausser and Kevin, that are based at Premier, they do a pretty good job. But like I think they're handling like 18 fields for me.
Okay.
And so they'll handle 18. I think the guy on the south side will handle 10 fields. And then my guy will take up the other 70 or 80.
Okay. Now, is there like a timetable or a hard date that you need to know who's coming down to umpire?
Oh, no. We're basically, what'll happen typically, I mean, the secret sauce is going to be behind the curtain, right? I'd love to say, and he's going to tell me that we're set by Tuesday.
Okay.
I mean, that's what he's going to tell me. The reality of it is he's not going to be set till Friday.
Right.
I mean, that's going to be the reality. Yeah. And so the majors will all have what they need, and we'll do all that. I mean, we'll have some off fields. We're trying to figure it out, basically. But we should be. I mean, I think we'll be okay. But the national PG guy is helping me out, so we're trying. I got calls out to Alabama and Oklahoma and Arkansas. Anybody that we are using around the country, we're gonna try to get them to come in.
Okay.
And so,
man, that's pretty cool. As far as the umpires are concerned, championship game 3 or 2?
Oh no, we'll have 3. I mean, we're paying just like last year. We paid for 3. So I mean, if we've got them available, they're going to be there. We're going to have more games. Like tonight, we have 25 fields going tonight. Mm-hmm. That's the first time we've ever had 25 fields going on Friday. Okay. And so that was pretty tough getting it covered tonight because we're not used to it. And so, but they got it covered. And then on that Monday, we're gonna have more games on Monday than we've ever had. Because last year we only did the 10s.
The majors, right?
We only did the 10s, 11s, and 12s.
Okay.
And so that's the only 3 divisions that did it last year. So this year we've got the 14s has got 8 games, I think, Monday. Then 13 AAA, or both 13 major divisions have got 8 games going on, and then. Heck, I think the 12s and 11s are going to have 8 games going. No, they'll have 6 probably.
Okay.
And so
on divisions that have, let's say over 50 teams. Okay. how is the breakdown going to be? Okay, how many pool games? 3, 4, 5?
We were so each of them, it all comes down to whether you have odd or even teams.
Okay.
And so like we settled on the 14U at 65 teams.
Okay.
And so wish we'd have lost one or gained one, because then we could have went to 3 pool games and it made it a little easier, because that was pretty tough doing that bracket. But that's got 4 pool games, and then the top 16 teams are going to advance.
Okay.
And so, which comes out to, you won't see it as pools on there, but the reality of it is it's going to
a pool
be
game.
there's 13 pools basically, how we did our schedule.
Right.
And so those 13 winners plus 3 wild cards are going to having a chance to advance.
Okay.
And then they'll play. I think we've got it set up as Sunday night. We're going to play. I think it's 8 games, like all 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock at night, Sunday night, and then so we'll go from 16 to 8 from Monday.
Okay.
And then the 12U I think the 12U is going to be close to that. Times will be a little different, but they'll end up playing probably 8 or 9, 10 games more than likely on Sunday night for a third game of the day.
Okay.
Then they'll finish up Monday.
Okay. Yeah, no, I was just wondering. Okay, so when you talk about the pool, so if it's an even number, you're looking at maybe 4 teams per pool?
Yeah, even number, you can go 4 teams, then it's just 3 pool games.
Okay.
And so then you have to worry about if somebody drops or something like that, or in today with the COVID thing, right?
Right.
So we have one. I think it's the 13U6090 has an even number, and so we were able to do 3 pool games, which softened it up a little bit for us on Sunday for field times and dimensions and everything. So, and I think we're still advancing. I think we're advancing to. I think in that there's pools of. I think there's 9 pools.
Okay.
And so, the top 2 in each pool basically.
Move on.
And have a chance. We're taking 18.
Okay.
I think it's 18 or 20 we're taking. So like, yeah, and those pools are tough.
Yeah.
So how early are you starting? Like, did you change the times up, or is it still like 8 o'clock first game?
Oh, it's 8. We're starting 8 in the morning.
8 in the morning.
Yeah.
You
Talking about
would
Monday
have
or
to.
Saturday? Saturday.
Yeah.
Monday or Sunday?
Oh, both.
I mean, Monday we may go to some 8:30s or something like that, but like just to kind of soften it a little bit. But I've told most people that are traveling in, like the 14Us, we're trying to be done by 4 o'clock.
Okay.
And then everybody else, we're trying to be done by 2 o'clock.
Okay.
Ish, right?
Yeah.
So we're shooting for a 2 o'clock start time for the championship game on the 14U, and then a 12 o'clock start time for everybody else is our hope, right?
Yeah.
Okay. That's not bad. Yeah. So that I was first introduced to that pool at the Elite, I think, long time ago. And so I actually, if you advance, you like it. If you don't advance, you hate it. Yeah. So, it is what it is.
I mean, it's kind of like I talked to the PG guys and stuff like that, and they're like, "Hey, yeah, just the pool winners advance." But like, we took some teams to Orlando, and they faced the TBT team, the 14U team.
Yeah.
Dude throwing 85, 86 right out of the gate, right? Yeah. I mean, so like they lost 3 to nothing, but like your tournament's over.
Yeah.
I mean, you're just playing your next 3 games and going home, right? And so they came close to being. They took a couple wild cards. They came close to being able to advance. They gave up 1 too many runs. So like we wanted to. I like having 1 or 2 wild cards just because I can't give perfect pools. No one's can do it, right? I don't know who you're picking up.
Yeah.
And so
how do you draw them though? Is it still by ranking and strength? Is it
No.
U-Troop style, or you had pick it like, man, I want these 2 guys? Dude.
No, I'm gonna give a shout out to 3 or 4 guys. So like Rod Moreno in California helps me out quite a bit. Vic Nava helps me out with some stuff. I'll ask him. I'm like, hey, what do you think in this age? Lolly up there in Dallas. Those guys play everybody, right?
Yeah.
So like, we're not taking their word for the gospel or anything like that, but like that's just part of the puzzle,
Yeah,
right?
some input,
so like,
yeah.
so they give me like, hey, here's who I think is the top 15. Then we go to the PG power ranking, not power rankings, but the actual rankings for PG.
Okay.
And then we ask some other coaches, and we get an idea. Like, okay, here's who we think is the top 10. So like we're gonna put those all in separate pools.
Okay.
Okay, and then here's the next 11. We're gonna spread them out, right? And so we're trying to keep everybody. We don't want those top 2 teams in the same pool. Where with the USSSA model, it's all based on points, and a lot of times the best team in the tournament has the least amount of points, and he's ended up playing the 1 seed. And so now you have it's not fair, right?
Yeah.
And so 'cause it's all based on how much you pay, so that you earn those points, so therefore you get the higher seed. But you live in some weird town that doesn't get have that sanction, and so like so you're never playing that sanction, but you've already picked up 6 guys, and now you're the best team in the country. And all of a sudden, you're playing the 1 seed that spent $20,000 with you trip.
Yeah.
So it's I think this is a little fair on how we're doing it.
Okay.
And so,
and not to cut you off, but before I forget this thought, when we went to the Elite one year, I think it was 10U. In our pool, we had it was Vic, Lolly, the Bravos, and SBA.
Ooh.
I mean, it's
I was
not,
like, I saw the schedule. I'm like, come on, man. There's no way all these 4 teams.
it's not
could or
it's not
should be.
subjective at all. It's
I
just
was
based
like-
on the points.
Yeah.
And so ours is, it's what we think, but like we've gotten input from multiple people, and then also we use our ranking system to see where we're at. And
Okay.
so then we've also seen a bunch of teams. Then if I can ask Rod or Vic or Lolly or somebody like, hey, tell me who it is.
Right.
And then we just got to keep them separated for a while.
Right,
Right.
right, of course.
And so like,
It makes it better too.
yeah, but like the 13, 60, 90 division,
Mm-hmm.
like, dude, there's like 23, 24, like
Yeah.
Yeah,
teams
pretty
in
good
there.
teams,
I mean, there's a lot. I mean, everybody can beat everybody in there pretty much.
Yeah.
And so at least one game, right?
Yeah. So how about the 13U that are going to play in the smaller ones? Any credence to them?
The 5480.
Yeah, 5480.
So there's still good teams in there. It's not. There's like 6 out of state teams in there, but like we just basically on our field when it comes to the fields is like the 14U got first pick of all the fields that we needed for them to play on. Right. The
Okay.
14 majors. The 60-90 division got next priority on fields, and so that's why we were pushing so hard today to get them to move, other teams to move in there. And then the 5480s, the ones that were left, is they got the next best tier of fields that we have. Okay, start running that. If I had BLD, it would have made it a lot easier for my 13U. Mm-hmm. And so 'cause I lost 6 fields there, right? So it makes it tough. That's 6 turf fields. So, and then the 12s, so I think that what we're doing on the 11s and 12s, because we lost, partly because we lost Big League Dreams and Sienna. So I think we've got, I think it's 7 or 8 or 9 turf fields that the 11s and 12s are going to split up. And then 4 or 5 dirt fields are going to split up. And so that way, if there's something happens with weather, in our format, I still have enough turf fields to still get everybody a 3-game guarantee kind of thing and still make it good. And so it gives us a little bit backup.
So what's up with Sienna though? Why'd y'all lose that field or what?
I think it had something to do with. I can't say it, man. It's too political.
Okay.
And so this
It was
is more.
political.
It's. I mean, it's the same reason that the city of Houston is been shut down since last March for any of their fields. It's Fort Bend County's in the same boat. They're more of a democratic area, right? And then one of the there's counties with 4 precincts in town. Mm-hmm. 3 precincts are open, 1's closed down since March. And so,
Damn, it's almost a year.
yeah, luckily I don't have a lot of fields in those areas, so we're good.
Yeah. Now you talked about BLD. How big of a loss is that? I mean, as far as scheduling.
For this weekend, it hurts.
Okay.
I mean, so, 'cause like for this weekend, I picked up a bunch of extra fields this year, but like I lost 14 turf fields
Dang.
that I normally would use. No, 3 I wouldn't normally use. I lost them because of the freeze the last 2 weeks, and they got to do makeup games and stuff like that. So they're not letting us in there. But Sienna has always done our 10-year-olds every year, and then I also have one big field there that's turf that I
correct.
can use. And then losing Big League Dreams, the 6 fields that I can go 12U or 13U on, and so on the 5480s. So like, and mix those fields in, that makes it painful. I expect to get it back for next year though, no matter what happens with the park. So
Okay, cool. Now, everybody wants to know about BLD. Any information you can maybe share?
public knowledge. I mean, I don't know how. It's not public, but like nothing.
Facebook public.
It's not Facebook public. It's not Facebook public, but I mean, I wasn't told not to say anything, right? So like my understanding is a new ownership group has come in and they've done a purchase order. They've signed everything. No one knows who that group is.
Okay.
I'm sure somebody does, but like this is a pretty tight knit little
Of course.
circle, and so they've signed a purchase order and they've got X amount of time to go in and redo all. They have to I think some of the contracts the cities it's automatic, and then some of the cities they have around the country they have 10 parks. They have to renegotiate basically
Okay.
with the leases.
So maybe they'll come back online.
The reality of it is, League City will be stupid if they don't. I take that back. It's in League City's best interest, I think, to go with the new ownership group. It's the fastest, easiest way to do it because they've already got a contract with them. Mm-hmm. They don't have to put it out for bid. They don't have to take a chance on the next group coming in. They can see what the new group has money-wise. They can dictate to them some circumstances where, hey, put some money in this account for us to be able to know you're going to do the repairs and all of that. They can dictate a little bit more to the big league dreams than they can maybe the next group.
Okay. And if all else fails, they'll just become apartments or condos or.
I think my understanding.
Shopping center.
My understanding from somebody that works at the city is not involved in the city council or anything like that, but like it's in one of the admin areas or whatever, that's not their intention. They don't feel like it's a good idea to put apartments there. They want it to be big league dreams. They want it to be baseball fields.
Aren't they supposed to be opening up or doing another complex over there?
I think so, for their leagues, for the community.
Okay.
So they want something that's going to, they just don't feel like there's enough room there for apartments and stuff in that area. The land's too valuable.
Well, shit, they can expand. I mean, fields if they wanted to. The city, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, I think they're going to put some other fields in.
Because that area is like pretty nice how it's set up. I mean, you turn in and it's like Big League Green Parkway.
I agree with you.
Cabela's. And,
when somebody comes with a lot of money like Marriott or Hilton, everything seems they change. I mean, so that's my deal. I mean, obviously I like big league dreams. I mean, I complain getting there, but once I get there, I mean,
Hey, but if
it had gone downhill though.
Hey, I mean, but couldn't it have been like in the city's best interest to have one last hoorah there? And then you just open up that checkbook and say, hey, bro, I need this park.
I was not too, they told me something a little different. I mean, when they first came in.
I know some people there, bro. You let me know.
Yeah, it's, let me come in. They do have some electrical issues in the restaurants and stuff like that. So that was part of it.
I'm sure it got hit with the freeze too, right?
It was before that, but probably now. Yeah, you're probably gonna fix some stuff now no one knows about. And so I mean, it's that house that nobody's been in for 20 years, right? There's nothing worse than going into a restaurant that's been closed for a while. Yeah. I mean, that place, it does not smell good. It's not, I mean.
Especially the walk-in cooler.
Man. Yeah. It's just sitting there.
Yeah, no. That happens.
What about Freedom Park?
Freedom Park's part of Fort Bend County. They've been kind of closed down for tournaments and stuff. I mean, I offered to have PG go in there and do like 25, 30 loads of dirt and really make those fields nice. And the lady that kind of I rent from out there that's kind of in charge of them, she's like, no, we can't. What's the point? Like, they're not going to let us use them for a while.
Really?
So you can do first come, first serve out there for practices, I think, but nothing like organized where you just.
They said a while, bro. They must know something, huh?
Yeah. So I mean.
Man, that's terrible. A clarification for the championship games in the major division. All 6 innings, run rules still in effect?
Oh, yeah, run rules are always in effect.
Okay, cool.
Open it up.
I open it up to what?
Just open. No run rule.
I mean, what's the
No, the run rule's okay. The run rule's okay.
I mean, and the reality of it is that 14U division, you have to win 8 games in 3 days.
Yeah.
Like that's a lot of games.
And let's talk about the pitching rules though. Like, have they changed? They're still the same, or you're going with a Pitch Smart league? Or no?
We decided that Pitch Smart was so awesome that we were going to not use it.
Okay.
And so there's no. We were talking about that today. It's like, oh yeah, if you're using Pitch Smart, you had no shot. There's just no way.
Yeah. Oh, so there's no way.
You're not.
So what is it? 100 over the 3 days?
Yeah. So we basically it's. The 100 pitch on a 3-day event, what we changed it to is we have the same thing we've been doing for the last year. I told everybody we're going to be doing, which is the 100 pitches max for the 2 days, right? So we beta tested that for the 3 or 4 months, 5 months that I was kind of took over, and what I found and through the process is that okay, it's great, it's better than anything else out there because you're not going to pitch 170 pitches and all that, and you're still going to be able to run and have a tournament. And so we kept the rules before. You pitch 9 outs. Okay. You're fine for the next day. Pitch 10, you can't pitch the next day. Okay. And then, but we were having teams all of a sudden like save Johnny for Sunday and pitch him 100 pitches, like the 10 and 11 years old, right? So that's not.
Hell yeah.
I mean, so what we did was we took a daily. We have a daily max now. We took the daily max of, and basically made it to where like 9 and 10 is like 65 or 75, and then 11 and 12 is 75 or 85, and then the 14s is like 95. So that way, if you do save them for Sunday,
okay, they still got a limit.
Yeah, he can't get to 100 pitches.
Yeah, we're not going to see him on the page on Monday.
Yeah,
on Tuesday.
We're not trying to.
Or Monday.
The 20 pitch. The 20.
Yeah, or Monday.
Yeah, the pitch smart thing is basically if it wasn't designed by anybody in the baseball world. I mean, yes, USA Baseballs did it, but like they've not been doing anything in the youth business ever, right? And so you basically taken the bet what they were doing and what USSSA is doing and kind of doing some common sense in there and kind of combining the two, making the USSSA model a little more stringent, basically. Okay. And so, because PG did the pitch smart for the younger kids. And everybody was playing 2 and 3 innings because they were changing pitchers four times an inning, right? So like he's got 19, get him out of there. So like all of a sudden you get 3 pitchers in the first inning. Like what are you doing? And so it wasn't conducive to getting
right.
People were stalling on it, and it was too many pitching changes and the rest of it. So there's some common sense ways to do it. They're not pitching 160 pitches.
Yeah.
Nobody wants that.
Got a question here. Any pitching rules for the coach pitch coaches? Any limits on them?
As long as they're not
they
on
matter
the field,
too, bro.
as long as they're not on the
They do
on the
matter.
field. No. I told somebody today they didn't want to play on the 8U kid pitch. I'm like, the good 8U kid pitch teams at 40 feet. Yeah. That's some fun baseball to watch. Those guys can play, man.
Yeah,
it's like 12U and the good 8U kid pitch. That's fun.
Yeah.
Hey, talking about 8U kid pitch, did that one fill up for this year? I haven't even seen
There's
it.
15 teams.
15 teams.
What
That's
division?
going to be fun. 8U kid pitch?
Hey, dude, have you ever seen some of those pitchers on the coach pitch? Man, they get in the zone, bro.
Oh, hell yeah.
They're off in the corner by themselves, just chilling. My friend used to do that. Hey, dude, you would think he was in a major league game, bro. I was like, I went over there to talk to him one time and said, bro, I can't talk. I'm like,
he's pumped up,
really?
bro.
Yeah. They lost.
But hey, Darren's right, man. That 8U,
some pretty good teams on
that
there.
8U division got some pretty good teams, but it's pretty fun, man. It's pretty fun.
Yeah.
Shout out to everybody that's coming in. Look, I see Miami, Florida. I see California, San Antonio, Austin. So, man, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Real awesome.
Yeah. No, it is.
It's gonna be competitive as hell, but it's gonna be very interesting because it's kind of like how Darren kind of mentioned right now. Even with that daily max, bro, it's still gonna affect some teams, man. Because like you said, Lil Johnny's not gonna be able to go 100 anymore. 100 pitches that weekend or more. I mean, didn't some kid throw like 117 or 139 this past?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy, man.
Well, I mean, if you've got like going back to the USSSA, I did it forever, right? So like at 8 innings, if you hit 8 innings, you're gonna be 140 to 180 pitches. That's what it is, right? You're not it's not 100. No way you're doing 8 innings and 100 pitches, not at 10, 11. It's not happening. And so when we first started it, when I came over to PG, we were shocked at how many good coaches had not been tracking pitches. They were just going strictly by the outs. So I felt really good about the fact that we switched to the out to the max pitches and kept track of it that way. And so in 100 over a couple of days isn't. I mean, for 9 and 10-year-olds is fine. I mean,
Yeah, but you still get, like when you were talking about, some coaches just forget.
Yeah.
I don't know if they really forget. They just
they
want to win.
In the zone, bro.
they want to win. Like, man, we need to keep little junior
in that zone.
pitching.
well, then you don't feel as bad now because for me it's like pitch whatever you want. I don't care. Like if we start the play, gonna beat you. Me personally when I'm coaching. But then you have the other guys that are like, hey, you want to do it right? You want to get them. I'm gonna catch them and get the forfeit. With our rules of not being a forfeit and it just being you remove the player, it's not a gotcha type of situation. So there's no reason for me not to say something now. So now I wouldn't say it before. Now it's like, hey man, he's hit his 100 pitches. You got to get him out.
Right.
And so I don't feel bad because I'm not sending. I don't run the risk of getting jumped in the parking lot. Right.
But if that does happen, and he gets called out on it, so the coach gets kicked out, correct? Or what is it?
I wanted it to be kicked out, and so but we have 2 committees. We have like 4 or 5 people on a committee, and then we've got a little bigger committee that we kind of go on some stuff. So we actually brought it to the bigger committee on that one. And the consensus really was on everybody. They were like, "Hey, no, we're here to play baseball, not here to kick the coach out." Okay. And so
even though the coach violated the rule,
I'm more of like let's kick him out.
Yeah,
and so and we may end up doing that if it becomes a problem. I'll correct it locally and put a rule in for it locally, and then bring it back to the committee to see, hey, this is what's going on with the rest of you guys.
Okay.
So
because I mean. We know coaches.
No.
I mean, come on. I mean, if they can get away with shit, they will.
No, exactly. I mean,
because wasn't the rule the coach gets kicked out, and then he gets kicked out for the next game as
Yeah,
well.
we put that in because I think there was somewhere else that was doing that in California or something like that. So we kind of copied
games.
their stuff.
Yeah, well, it depends
And so-
what inning got thrown out. Yeah.
Yeah, and so we wanted to do that, but it really wasn't. It was kind of pleasant. I mean, this on the forfeits and the lack of forfeits for pitching and stuff, and how the parents and how the coaches handled it. I mean, I'm not saying we didn't have a couple of people freak out when they got to 103.
Of course.
And so but it's like we still went and checked it out, and we're gonna still do what we did before. We're gonna go verify with the other book, and we're gonna verify with a couple of sources to make sure that we're right, and it's not a human error that we got to that amount.
Yeah.
And so.
But you're gonna verify what via Diamondcast, right? You're gonna have it running.
That, but at the same time, if we have somebody else to check some of the stuff to check on another book or two, we'll go that extra step, especially if we were kicking the coach out.
Yeah.
Now that we're not kicking the coach out, it's less verifying because it's like, hey, he's gonna have to prove it,
Okay.
like that Johnny's gonna have to stay in. I don't have to prove it now.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, he's got to get off the mound. If he disagrees with us, then he's gonna have to show us through 2 or 3 other teams' books, basically on their game changers, what it really was.
Okay. So you're not going to have anybody out there like they have at USA Futures, that the dude comes out from the little clubhouse up there in the middle of the field and come down as soon as your pitcher hits or is close to their pitch limit, and he's right there almost in the dugout telling you he's got to go.
You mean
You know what I'm talking about,
You mean
right?
the guy that took 4 bathroom breaks and missed a bunch of pitches in between?
Well,
in
no,
between?
they have in their defense, they have the guy out there. You
Yeah.
get to see the pitch count. But as soon as you get to that number, that dude he comes
right
out of the
there.
clubhouse and he comes right there and he's like, Coach, he's at, let's just say
Yeah.
70.
Yeah.
He's got 5 more pitches. Or
And
finish the batter.
as we train the Diamondcast, unlike some other people that are trying to do some stuff, I mean, PG has a track record of running the Diamondcast, of the scorekeeping, having the scorekeepers. They've got history of doing what the old pitch smart. That's why we've evolved away from it a little bit. So they've got experience with all of that, and that's a national database of information to make those decisions off of, not just what one guy in a room thinks. So we've got some guys that are doing that. So like, as our Diamondcast people learn the system better, and we have better people, they'll be trained to know that, like, hey, let somebody know that this kid's hitting his mark, right?
Okay.
So we just started doing it and getting people on board, right? So we're just trying to learn the basics of it and keep track of everything before we start really doing that.
Okay.
A lot of the ones when you go to the bigger PG events, they've got guys that have been doing it a lot
Right,
longer,
right.
and so they are a little bit more active on they're in control of it behind there. And you trust what they're doing a little better than some other places that I've been to.
Okay.
So
we're not ready to eliminate any of the team books.
no, we're still having, like, I talk to people on our little committee meetings and stuff, and they're like, you do scorecards? I'm like, yeah, we're doing scorecards still. So I'm sorry, man. I'm like, we're still going to have the umpires keeping track of stuff, and then we still have the Diamondcast stuff because, like, again, you have an 18-year-old, 22-year-old, whatever it's going to be, doing the scorekeeping. If they make a mistake, I want to have a backup. I want to figure it out.
Okay.
And so
That's smart. Really
Yeah.
smart.
Okay, so both teams have to take a book now.
I mean, I would suggest it. I mean,
Okay.
but I mean, I said we're still like this weekend. It kind of hurt us the last 2 weeks because we were in the process of training. Right, the last 2 weekends we were going to be smaller events and that. So we've been training since the start of January, right? So this weekend going to 375 teams. I don't think we're at 100% Diamondcast this weekend, but we're close. And so next weekend we were hoping to be a lot closer to being 100%. So the reality of it is there's no way I'm getting 115 Diamondcast people next week. And so, but all the majors will have Diamondcast next week. I think we'll probably be 60 fields, 70 fields next week of Diamondcast. And then after next weekend, I think we'll be pretty close to every field. Every weekend we'll have scorekeepers and all that on it.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I have a really good girl that does all the hiring and does all the scheduling and that. And I get another guy that checks rosters, and he'll help you with the rosters and the waivers and all that to make sure you're in the deal, because it's not as simple as everybody thinks. Because
No, it's not.
It's not. Hey, I'm gonna go put a scorekeeper out there, because you have to be on the roster, and the roster already has to be loaded into the system. And so if they don't, like, I had people today going to a game at 6 o'clock that why do I have to have waivers? Why do I have to have it on the roster in there? Like, because those are the rules, and I mean, and we can't let you do the game. We can't score the game unless you have them on the roster, right? So we already have all that in place and going, and we're used to doing that doing it for high school games is one thing. Doing it on the youth games, it's a whole nother animal, right? I mean, you have a lot of dad coaches, you have a lot of paid coaches that are counting on a mom, and so it's not easy. It requires to have a couple really. I have 2 full-time people doing nothing but diamond cast stuff and waivers.
Damn. So hopefully there's not going to be any waiver issues this tournament.
Well,
right?
we don't do forfeits on waivers anyway.
Okay, we're good.
We're just not gonna let that kid play.
Hey, it is what it is. I have somebody sent me a question this week when I posted that you were going to be here on Friday. Okay, I read the rule differently, or maybe I read it wrong. So clarify it. I was under the impression that if Julio plays 11U, that he can still play 12U in the same tournament, because the rule used to read different events, and PG by definition had 11U and 12U marked down as different events. Is that true or is that false?
So you're right. So like you can play like, and this is what people don't understand too. Like for this week, next weekend, right?
Any weekend.
No, I'm just using that as an example, right? So like, what happens in these big national events? And this is the long story long, right? Okay. And so they'll bring 4 teams in the 14U, or 4 teams in the 18U or 17U, right? And they've all got all these POs in there, right? And so like, technically they put the POs on both teams or on all 4 teams. Mm-hmm. He's not technically on your team until he plays. Right. So if they get knocked out before he actually plays on that 14U team, he can then go to the other 14U team if he didn't play in a game, okay? Right. And so the other thing goes with that is 11U is a different event than the 12U in PG.
Correct.
Okay, and so like he can play 11U and play 12U in the same weekend. Right. But pitching is all one. He only gets 100 pitches total for both teams combined. Okay. And so he can go back and forth and play in different ages. Yeah. He can't play on 2 teams in the same age group, though.
Exactly. Because somebody came up to me what was the last? The last weekend. The last NIT, and told me something. I said, you need to learn the rules. Yeah. And he's like, no, dude, I know the rules. I said, no, you do not know the rules. Damn. Read the rule. The rule states this. Yeah. It's defined by events. Yeah. And PG defines different age groups as different events.
And the reason they do that, because they have in the summer, because they've been
in the summer it's wild.
It's overlap. There's a lot of overlapping events, right? So you have overlapping. Like I got knocked out on a Monday. The event finished Wednesday, but this other event started Tuesday.
Correct. Yeah.
And so and so you're kind of going back and forth, and it does help the POs because they're all about players playing. They don't want to prevent a kid from playing baseball.
Correct.
And so, if your kid travels with MVP to the West Coast and doesn't get to play because he's a PO, and they have another team that advanced, he can show up in their dugout, and still get the pitch.
Okay, so maybe you mentioned it while I stepped out, but how does it work with the player being added? Can he be added mid-tournament?
No, he can't.
He's locked in.
He's got to be added before they start the tournament.
But he's got to be on the roster.
Tournament.
Yeah. So Julio can be on an 11U, a 12U, and a 13U, and conceivably play in all 3 of them. All right, he's not a pitcher.
I got a question that was emailed to us. With the COVID still in effect, are teams still being disqualified if a player throws up his lunch or breakfast? What are the rules?
Only that one team, and so that.
Okay, so you know who it.
No, I know who asked that question. Only that team, and so I mean. It's
that really happened.
Oh, damn. Yeah.
And so I mean, it's a tough deal. I mean, the reality of it is like you're at the end of the day. It hasn't happened yet, right? In the whole COVID world, we haven't had anybody throw up on the field, right? Yeah. So like it's 6:00 and we're at the end of the day, and I get a call from the umpire. Hey, can you send somebody out here to clean this up? I didn't think anything of it. Like, I call the concession stand. I'm like, hey, you got to go clean this throw up on field 5. Clean up on aisle 5, right? Yeah. And so they go over there. They get it cleaned up. Everything's going good. And then I start getting blown up on the phone. And I'm like, this is a problem. This is actually a problem. I didn't think about it, right? I mean, I just thought the kid heat, whatever, right? I mean, that's what we think, right? Yeah. But that's not the world we were living in June and July. And so, I mean, or September. I mean, that's not the world. And so I called the owner of PG. I called the head operations of PG. I called another director of PG, and we're like going back and forth on it. And I'm like, okay, that's what you guys want. That's what we're gonna do. So like, I was just passing the buck, and so to the guys above me, and so. And it was just for where we were at in the tournament and for where we were at situationally wise, being the first time it's ever happened kind of thing. It was like, this is the best thing to do. Okay. And so I mean, what do you do?
I mean, it's a tough call,
It's a
especially
damn if you do, damn if you don't kind of deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you do now?
I make the same phone call.
Okay.
And so, I mean, it's one of those things, and like they made it worse because what happened is the one coach I was talking to, and this is the funny part. So the one coach I was talking to said, I heard it as, I don't care, you can send us home. Okay, it's okay to send us home. What he said, what I found out later, and I'll take their word for it, right, is that you can send him home. Okay? Well, in my mind, even if you said you could send him home, you're admitting that he's sick and that there's a problem. Yeah. So if that's the case, then you all need to go home. And so, right? Yeah. I mean, so like you're telling me it's okay to send him home, but just not the rest of the team.
Yeah.
And so like it was just a tough situation in that case. And I understand they were mad and all that, but it's like they put me in a tough they put me in a tough spot, and like, and to me, them saying whether send him home or send the whole team home, when they tell me that, it's only one thing. Right. Then you all have to go, right?
Yeah.
And so then I was going to let that other team kind of just play the winner of the other game and then change fields. And it just mushroomed into, they were screaming and MF-ing Amanda, and I mean, multiple coaches, men going after little 16, 17. I think they were even cussing out a 14-year-old girl we had working for us. And so Amanda's trying to defend the 14-year-old girl we have working for us because they're in her face with phones and stuff like that. And so then they went to the other field making a ruckus and all that. And so by the time all that was happening, I didn't feel bad about it. It's like, it is what it is. Sorry.
Yeah, well, you know that I still think, Julio, that problem still exists where sick kids are still playing.
Oh yeah,
because they're not going to tell it. I mean,
going to school.
But the deal, they're going to school, but especially playing. And the bad thing about that, man, I put all the onus on the parents because you know if your kid's sick or not. Don't act crazy.
On them.
Don't act crazy when somebody says, "Oh man, this kid is sick." You know your kid. You better know your kid.
Oh, I had somebody call me and like he's sick. He went and got tested for this, tested for that, and he doesn't have that. And I'm like, okay, then so what are you telling me? Like, I mean, if you're telling me he doesn't have COVID and he got tested for this, and this, I'm like, okay, great.
Yeah.
I mean. Or he told me he got tested for strep and something else, but they didn't test for COVID. I'm like, well, it's not that and that, so like, why not get tested for COVID? And so it's tough right now.
Oh yeah, no, it is tough, and we, fortunately or unfortunately, our 2 inches of snow, our hard freeze that we got is putting COVID in the back burner.
Oh yeah,
and so I see. You know what? I still see a lot of people wearing masks, but I see a lot of people not wearing masks too. I mean, whatever you do, that's what you do. But I mean, it's
nobody's wearing masks.
COVID's on the back burner now, dude. It is 100% on the back burner now. So, thank you, 2 inches of snow.
Hey, real quick, shout out to our boy Mark Hammond from Detroit coming down. He's tuning in, watching the show, and everybody else from out of town coming in, man. You have anybody that you're flying in through your private jet or anything like that?
No, I'm like. Let's see. Umpires, if I had them, so I'm like, so that would definitely be a definite. But
is Larry in town? Is he umpire?
I asked him on there if he's on.
The only one that I don't want to ump is Noah Camo, or what's his name?
That's his friend.
Hey, I don't know where. I don't know where he's gone, bro. He went MIA.
I'm like,
I saw him defending some glove on Facebook or something like that.
He was defending a glove.
So the glove sale, I don't know.
We got a question that says, "Hey Junior, you guys made up?" I think he's talking about me and you. I mean, we've been good. Look, what a lot of people don't know is Darren's actually my uncle.
You have family spiffs every once in a while, right?
Yeah. But we good now. We signed to PG, baby.
I have, was it 4 or 6 Filipino nieces? A black nephew.
Yeah.
So you're diverse.
Two Puerto Rican nieces. So I needed a Mexican.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there you go.
Throw a Mexican in there too, man.
Yeah.
We got a little bit. We're multicultural over at my household.
Hell yeah. And we're gonna be hanging out this weekend, man.
Hey, are you gonna have that pizza at the hotel next week?
If you guys are there, yeah.
No, I was just asking. That was some good stuff.
Yeah.
Dude, we sold $40,000 worth of food in like 3 days last week. I mean, it was crazy.
Oh, yeah.
One store had power. My other store didn't have power down in Lake Jackson, and And it's been tough. COVID's been
Yeah,
tough
of
for
course.
us. We're normally like $10,000 a week per store kind of thing, and so we're like $40,000 of business in like 3 days.
It's at that, it's at that Wednesday. Everybody wanted to go out and eat.
Yeah,
Last week.
Yeah, and so have you moved the? Are you selling the pizza at the rack now, like you were talking
Not
about? or
yet.
not
We're still making improvements right now. Like we've been working on some different oven issues and stuff like that.
Okay.
But like we've added some stuff. We've added some stuff to the menu and that, but I'm kind of cleaning it up.
Like what exactly?
Mozzarella sticks.
Ooh.
And so,
Hey, and where the 11s at that weekend? The rack. So,
And so,
I'm
I mean-
gonna go
Are they
give
at
them
the
a
rack?
review.
At the rack?
then we'll have
11's
yeah.
at the rack?
next week. Yeah,
Yeah,
It'll,
yeah.
be
You
a
put
mix,
every-
it'll be a mix all out in that area.
Oh, okay.
Oh man, that's a long ass drive from here.
So no baseball USA? No baseball USA.
There
for
might
them?
be
I thought there was.
there's probably gonna be 1 or 2 fields at Baseball USA just because we lost some
Yeah,
of those
yeah.
fields, so we
Okay,
kind of have to mix.
hey,
it
so
around a
let's
little
talk
bit.
about that. So like, let's go by age group, so you can kind of tell us where everybody's at. So like the 6U, where are they playing at, man?
I'll be
or you
honest,
don't
I
know?
forgot all about that. So, I mean, you're gonna have to ask.
okay.
We haven't gotten there.
So
My
like,
son's doing all that.
Okay, so like Baseball USA is gonna be mostly like
I-
major teams, or you really don't know, man.
No, I mean, I
Lee
think
did the schedule or what?
he's doing the
Yeah.
schedules right now as we're talking, but so realistically, I mean, the 14 majors, like we were talking about earlier, Shill Road, a little bit at Sealy, Cotton Ranch and Katy, Premier. The 13 U6090 is Baseball USA, Bear Creek Little League, which has a really nice field.
Yeah.
Cotton Ranch, I think. Also, Spring Spirit, which has an all-turf field that's really nice. 5480 is kind of a mix. I think they're going to have a couple fields at Lindsay Lyons and Humble, a little bit at Bear Creek, Little League, mixed around a little bit. 12s are going to be kind of split up between Sealy, the Rack. They could end up with a field at Baseball USA, but I don't think so. And then I think Brenham, we
Okay.
because most everybody's supposed to be staying close to the Rack as far as out of town teams. Brenham, we were able to rent Brenham's 4 fields, which are probably 4 of the nicest dirt fields and grass fields in town around the Houston area.
It's 50 teams in that one major. That's
Yeah.
12U major.
Oh
And so-
yeah, I saw that.
And then
one.
those
That's packed.
the field dimensions for the out there that's when we lost Big League Dreams. That's what hurt us the most is field dimensions for the 12s, right? You can't put 12s on 220-foot fences anymore. And so it's not like it was 10 years ago. And so Brenham has got 2 fields that are 250 foot and then 2 fields that are 270. So it's like perfect size for the 12-year-olds.
Yeah.
So a combination and then the Rack is really good for the 12-year-olds too. So like the 11s and 12s will play in those kind of fields mixed together. Except the 11Us may have 1 or 2 fields at Baseball USA.
Okay.
Man, where are they staying
I'm
at?
sorry,
though?
10U is mostly at Baseball USA, and then 9Us are going to be kind of a combination of Cotton Ranch and Premier.
Yeah.
In that area. 8U Kid Pitch. We still haven't really decided yet. It's going to be a combination of Premier, Baseball USA, or Cotton Ranch.
Okay.
So
Can you tell 12U where they're going to be at?
major?
Yeah. So I can.
No, they have 4 games. There'll be 4 teams in Sealy at that park in the afternoon, and then there'll be 3 or 4 fields at the Rack for 12U, and then probably 3 or 4 fields out in Brenham.
Have
12U.
fun. Have fun, 12U.
And
Whoa, Darren called it. What is it? What'd you call it? The new golden triangle?
yeah, it's a it's a 30-minute little circle out there, man. It's like there ain't no traffic.
Hey, so where everybody's staying at out there, man? You built a hotel at the Rack or what?
No, I mean
A&M.
we have special RV, we have special RV hookups now. And so I mean like, but no, I told everybody to stay in Cypress. The ones that kept their hotels at the Rack will be happy. They're like
Oh,
Cypress,
Lord.
right there by the outlet mall. I
Yeah,
told
yeah,
everybody.
yeah, right
So,
there by
like,
99.
So
Yeah.
it's a better drive than it is for you.
Yeah. No,
I mean,
no.
so-
Yeah.
And so like that's a good that's a 30-minute rate. If you're in Cypress right by the outlet mall, you're a 35-minute drive for all those fields you're gonna be at. So you're right there in the middle of it. For Houston, 30 minutes is pretty good.
So 12, 11, you people, man, new golden triangle, baby.
No, that's for 12.
Oh, just 12.
Yeah, just
No,
12.
11's out there in
Yeah,
that
yeah.
little
That's
group
what
too.
I'm
they
saying.
too.
Yeah.
Except they have a kind of a spike. It's like more like a hatchet or something. Like you might have some fields over there at Baseball USA too. It's like
okay.
to go with the little triangle out there.
Okay, so it's the Rack, Brenham, and what's the other one?
Baseball.
No.
Sealy?
Sealy.
Yeah.
Oh,
Damn.
man.
And
God, that's terrible. The
country inn.
But those, I'll be honest, those are really nice fields.
No,
all those fields
Sealy's
are
not
nice.
bad. Sealy's not
So-
bad.
I mean,
And Brenham is
That's what's
actually
up.
really nice.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's really nice.
Dang.
so no Carlos Gomez complex, right?
We don't play on softball fields.
Statement. No, man, you put everybody on the west side.
I'm kidding. I'm like,
No,
I'm
no,
just
you're
messing. I'm just messing. We could play on some softball fields if the city would open up a couple parks for
Yeah.
me. But yeah, I'd play at Cullen Park, the 300-foot fields out there if they'd let me in there.
Oh,
but
okay.
they're softball fields.
Hey, Darren,
but they're nice.
Look, you don't have to tell anybody, man, but don't lie to me. You hate the 12U division?
They got I gave them the best fields.
Okay.
Calm down.
Okay,
I'm like, would you rather be at Bear Creek?
Um,
I mean,
okay.
I don't know, Oscar. Why don't you answer that, Oscar? Would you rather be at Bear Creek or
Yeah.
West Little York? West Little York's not in play this year?
for AA, AAA.
Okay. Okay. How many? Are there more AA and AAA teams this year than majors, or what's the breakdown on that? What's the mix?
I'd say we're still going to be always heavier AA, AAA, right?
Right.
And so it's probably 60-40.
Okay.
And so I mean, we do have we're up in every age group, of course, but the reality of it is since I started doing this 15 years ago and full time 12 years ago, it's hard to believe. It's like our numbers have been up, whether it be USSSA or Perfect Game. My numbers have been up 30% every year. Like we were on pace last year to. I'll just go back a little ways, but we started the first year. I'll start from the beginning. The first year I did this, I did full time with U-Trip. I did 400 teams, and then I did 800, then 1,200, then 1,800, 2,300, 3,300. Then we only went to 3,600, but we had like 1 million rainouts. No, everybody else was down 30%. We still went up a little bit. Then we went to 4,400 teams, then 5,500, then 6,300, then 7,300. And then we were on pace this last year before the shutdown to be at 9,000 teams. I couldn't believe it. Like,
And did you see the biggest spike right after like World Series when all the new teams got formed?
No, I mean it was just like this is before COVID. Before COVID hit, it's just kind of like we just basically, and those teams aren't really necessarily new. There's some new teams, but like they just were choosing to play with us with Houston baseball tournaments.
What about Crosby?
As far as what Crosby
Did
will
you
be?
get it or no?
Yeah, we have that on Sunday. So like what we'll do is like more than I was gonna put the 5480s out there on Sunday because it's a nice complex. It's great because they're going to be more of the Bear Creek Little League, the second tier, our second tier fields. They're still good, but they don't want us to put that throwdown mound like we do at Baseball USA in front of their mound because that place is spectacular, right? So we're not going to be able to go out there with that. So we'll put somebody else out there on Sunday. Okay. But like it gives them some, and it also gives us a backup if there's some rain on something to be able to put some teams on some extra turf on Sunday.
Franklin, you ever going out there?
We called about it for this weekend, but like it was, and if I had thought about it, if I had thought I was losing Big League Dreams and I thought I was losing Sienna, I would have called earlier to try to get it, but they're usually booked up in advance. And
and that's way out there.
Yeah, and
God, I hate that place.
We would
have
have
been out there.
Man, it sounds far.
No,
I don't. It sounds like I don't even want to
Been out
go.
there?
To be honest.
Okay.
we would have only extended out like the teams that were going to be at Premier. We would have only extended out to those.
Okay.
So that would have been on that side of town. They would already knew they were going to be on that side of town. And so that's the other thing too is as big as this tournament has gotten, and with all the craziness on losing a few parks and all of that, that's part of the reason we're doing the schedule earlier than normal. That way, if anybody's got to change hotels or feels like they need to change hotels or anything like that, they have plenty of time to do it. Or the ones that have waited for hotels to get hotels, they'll know exactly where they're going to be at. And so, barring rain.
Okay.
Knock on wood.
No, you'll be fine. You'll be fine on that. I got a question. I'm assuming this is from a coach. Not happy about the email everybody got about the raising the fees, X amount for gate fees.
I can always take him out.
Okay.
I mean, if all he has to do is call me, we'll pull him out tonight.
Okay.
I mean, it's not.
Pull the team out?
Yeah, it's not. I mean, we'll pull
Damn.
more than happy to pull the team out.
Well, when you have 700 teams.
No, it's not that. It's we're doing it for. I can go to $10 gate because it's a national event. Okay, so I can go to $10. We normally on national events it's going to be a higher gate fee than a normal weekend, right?
Okay.
So you can go to $10 gate if you want, right? And then you also have the problem of we have 150 teams coming in from out of town. Are they really used to being backed up on Sam Houston Tollway on that road, waiting to get into the park? Mm-hmm. Same thing happens at Premier. Everywhere's got waiting lines to get in, so like it eliminates the line. So all the gate people will be put to use somewhere else.
Okay.
And so basically we need that staff for other things too. So like I've convinced Baseball USA to let us use those staff for Diamond Cast people, Premier doesn't have to use their staff, and so now you can go drive straight in the park. Okay, so in reality, the parks are actually losing money by me charging the $200 for the team gate fee, because they collect more than that in gate fee than the $200.
Okay.
And so, and especially since there's 3 days for a lot of those teams, they're getting off big time as far as the amount of money they're going to have to pay. Okay. Then also you have coaches that are coaching at 2 different parks. They have coaching a 12-year-old team and a 14-year-old team. That Premier is not honoring Baseball USA's gate fee, and Baseball USA is not honoring Premier's gate fee. And so you have that dilemma of like, hey, I'm pissed off because you're not honoring my gate fee I already paid over here, right? So that kind of eliminates all that. And then if you want to go watch different fields, you're not having to worry about paying gate fee either. Okay. So I just thought it was the best thing for the event. Okay. And so for it to run the smoothest.
Okay.
So.
My only issue with that is, man, I'm gonna have to go. You're a golfer. I'm gonna have to go drop a ball at Baseball USA like on Wednesday. Just leave my car there. That sucker's gonna be packed Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
You're gonna have to get shuttled.
Carpool.
Yeah. Is there any shuttle service? I mean, because that thing's gonna be packed, and people are gonna be pissed. And those potholes are still bad over there.
But the AU's not going to be. But the good thing on that is the AU's not really going to be at. I'm not even sure what we're doing with the AU, but I mean the AU coach pitch is not really going to be at Baseball USA.
Okay.
And so.
Yeah, a lot of other teams are though.
We got to figure that out tomorrow. So I mean,
a lot of teams are. I mean, okay. So how's the rack going to be then? Are we going to have a line all the way to Buc-ee's?
No, that's what I'm saying. We're not doing gate.
Okay.
All the gates, every gate
just
we
come
close
in.
off. So
Just
like,
come in.
just
How's
go
the
where you're
parking
going to
go?
go.
Parking going to be okay?
No, we're always good out there.
Okay.
And so like
We're gonna be able to barbecue out there.
do what you want. I mean, it's like we have the big parking lot in front, and then we have all the on the road, and then we have the small parking lot in the back, and then the new parking that we have in the very back. We had a small area back there that we basically always use, and we also put another big area in back there. Yeah. And so there's always plenty of parking.
Okay.
Able to barbecue.
It looks chaotic, but there's always a place to park, and so
able to barbecue out there.
And do what you want, man.
He just said you can barbecue.
All right,
no, I was just wondering.
Hey, with the loss of BOD now, this is for the parents because people going Santos is wild. Alcohol at the rack. You can't sell alcohol, right?
I can't sell it, but I mean, we're not like putting you under like
New
Facebook jail or anything.
Oh, okay.
And so I mean,
I like you, man.
It's
I don't like Facebook.
Getting back to the whole gate fee thing. I just really did on that team gate fee. I know that some people don't want to go back to their parents and collect it, but the reality of it is it is cheaper for the families.
Okay.
I mean, now the one that got in free because they had a military discount or like that, yeah, they may not be happy, but from a team standpoint, it's saving everybody money.
Okay. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, hell, I was a fan of Baseball USA raising up their stuff to $15. So
Yeah.
So shit, raise it to 20 now.
Yeah, you sure were. But hey, man, it's cool. You heard it from the director, man. The rack's gonna be popping. The what is it? The West Golden Triangle. We gotta get a new name though, man. The Darren Triangle. How about that?
And most of the majors that were having to pay that too, because it only went to the major teams.
Okay.
And so they're all playing at the private parks.
Oh,
So
okay.
it
I
didn't
see
go
what
to
you
the
did there.
it didn't go to the AA and AAA. We're not charging you gate fee to go to West Little York. I mean, so it was not a team gate for that.
So if we see Darren in a brand new Lambo, we know why. Right?
Yeah, no, if you see me, I'd be like getting arrested. I'm an employee of PG, so I'd be like, if you see me getting arrested, go down to the Harris County Jail. And so,
hey, ain't nobody hating. Just let me ride around. You know?
No, well, that's gonna be something though. But I mean, hey, you broke it down. You explained it. Now it's just up to the people. You know, it is what it is. I mean, hey. They're going to start complaining when their sons get into 14, 15, 16, and that tournament's $3,000, $3,500.
Now when they don't pay me and they think they're not going to pay, and they try to go on the field to play and think they're going to be okay, and then we ask them to leave, then that's when they can be mad. And so, I mean, it's not. I mean, it's just.
And how you gonna kick them out? You're gonna Vince McMahon strut out there like, hey,
no, it's just like
here.
I won't be there.
It's gonna be legal.
I'll call it in.
Okay. So where are you gonna be at for the majority of the time?
I drive park to park.
I know that's your answer, but where are you gonna be at?
I'll primarily be at the rack. I enjoy the 11 and 12. I enjoy.
You want to be at the
12-year-old.
party? Hell yeah!
I enjoy the 11 and 12-year-old games. They're a lot of fun. I'll go watch some 8U too, and then a buddy of mine's kids, their team's coming in from Washington. So I'm partners or actually technically my youngest son is partners with his high school coach on a big facility in Washington State. So they have two teams coming down. My buddy's 14-year-old team out of our building up there is they're his kid's legit. So he's a dude.
Give him
so
a shout out. What's the team name?
Oh, it's New Level.
New Level?
Extreme. They're in the 14U Pike.
Okay.
So his kid plays shortstop and he rakes. So
Okay.
he got an invite to that 14U National Showcase. He earned his way into that. He does really well.
Hey, give him some love to the older ages. Any kids that you know that are coming in that are worth a look, you should be in the radar going to high school.
Oh, I mean, well, everybody in the country knows. I'm assuming it's the same kid out the TBT Ballers guy. That guy's like the #1 guy in the country, man.
Which one's that one?
I don't know what his name is. I mean, I always forget that stuff, but like I know he's like 85, 86.
Yeah.
I mean, he's supposed to be one of the top dudes.
Top dude.
Well, if I'm looking at, I mean, you got some good teams coming in. I mean, especially that 12U division. I mean, they got some good teams in that one.
Yeah, every division, like we're going through and putting pools together. Every division staffed.
Yeah, yeah.
So
You're right. But okay, so the tournament's so big now. I mean, are you still in the old school mode of emailing teams, or they're just everybody wants to? This is the place to be in March.
This is an established event, and I do another shout out to Rob Moreno. I mean, this was a great event. I built it up when I was with U-Trip year after year. It was always increasing. And we basically, a couple years ago, me and Rod hooked up on Facebook, talking and all that, and we kind of just started up a friendship, and he's really helped me with the West Coast teams. Okay. And then he helped me talking to guys he knows around the country. And so, 2 years ago, they started bringing guys out, and so it really has helped me draw those other teams in. And so now it's just, I think COVID this year is helping us with the California teams coming. But I'm hoping, based on with the hospitality we do, with the quality fields they get to play on, I think this ends up being where they keep coming back to. And with PG, I mean, we want Houston to be the center of baseball, right, nationally. Yeah. And so this is the type of event you got to put on. Yeah. And so.
So what are the plans for like the summer events? You still thinking like big ass World Series here? Or no?
We will eventually once we get going. I mean, we still have our PGI event, which the invitational that this is leading to. That is already that event is. With the teams that are going there, you have to be good to get there. Now you have to be the #1 team in your region, like to get an invite, a direct invite. You got to be on the top 10, 15 team in the country to get a direct invite. And really, like if I've watched you play and I know you can beat any of the top 4 or 5 teams, we'd probably give you an invite. Like we want teams that can win a game against the best team, right? And so those teams are all committed to going. We've heard from all of them, and we've had coaches that wanted to go somewhere else that have talked to those other coaches, and those coaches have told them, look, we're going to the PGI event in Sanford. And that's where we'll pick the 11U and the 12U festival kids out of that we have. It's like our version of the All-American Games. That's truly an invite-free event where we give them all the swag. And so,
nice.
So that we'll pick those kids from that event. And then PG is really committed to the youth market and bringing quality events to the kids, the younger ages. Mm-hmm. So, and it's everybody. We want to bring quality events to the AA kids, the AAA, the major. Like if there's a league out there that wants to like sanction PG, I mean, we're not advertising it and throwing it on Facebook and doing all of that, but like we'll sanction a league. I mean, and help them with whatever they need help with. I mean, we did that with LaPorte and stuff like that, running their league for them. That was just like the Sunday league, but we'll do things like that. We're about. I mean, Jerry Ford, the founder of PG, is all about baseball. I mean, he eats it, breathes it, lives it every day. That's his thing. So he's that old coach, and he loves baseball. So that's what it's really all about. That's the bottom line.
Look, I know. Real quick, Steve. I don't mean to cut you off. You know, you got the event right there in was it Sanford, Florida? You said, right, for the invitational.
Yes.
So. You know, I'm not going to be biased here because I'm from Houston area, right? But why don't we just do everything at the rack, dude?
I mean... You're biased.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, you got the complex. It's nice.
I think what's going to happen is like...
Invite only?
This year was one of those things where we wanted to have the top invitational type of event, okay? The other I'll throw it out there, the elite from USSSA, even when I was with USSSA, they know that event had outlived its usefulness. They needed to redo that event 4, 5, 6 years ago. Okay, and so they've got a million super NITs that feed that event now, right? And they're taking just anybody that wants to go to the event. And so if you're AAA, you want an invite, they'll give you an invite. I mean, they're trying to get to 100, 200 teams, whatever they want per age. And so this year we wanted to make sure we didn't want to have you change your travel plans. So we decided to have it at the complex that we had 15 fields at, that no one had to change their travel plans or change their vacation time or anything like that. That's why we picked the same dates. Okay. And then we're also, PG's about being the best, right? So why would we have all the best teams playing with us 12, 13, 14 anyway, right?
Yeah.
And now it's just a matter of time before all those other best teams are playing with us all the time. So, like, we wanted to start that this year. And so...
That's a nice way to say, like, we're just going to flex on you guys.
Pretty much, man. It's just like... It's kind of like what they did to me in Houston, right? They tried to flex on me on my date. I got blamed for it in October for, like, having the same time that UAAA was doing theirs, right? But that was my date. I had that date for 10 years. Next weekend, it's been my date for 10, 12 years. They want to do their Super NIT the same weekend again, right?
Yeah.
Is it next week? I thought it was the week thereafter.
Nope, same weekend. And so they've got no major teams, but they have 3 or 4 per age group, right?
So, yeah.
Did I thought it was a different date. I must have made it wrong.
No,
excuse me.
They in October and this one, they would have a big event had they not went head to head with this event.
Okay.
And so, I mean, 'cause everybody's looking for a good event.
Right.
I mean, and then
And I still think they put on good events. I mean, you know,
do they?
I mean, listen, not. There's a lot of people that don't like PG.
No.
You know, there's a lot of people that don't like UAAA, and so you're going to get that backfill of other teams that want to play. Now, my question is if I'm UTRIP and I'm looking at the Elite World Series, right, and Coach just said it right now, you know, they allow too many teams in the National World Series, and it kind of watered down
Which one?
the Elite.
Yeah.
Okay, but those teams from the Northeast and all up in there as far as the map, I mean, they want to come down to Florida and play, and they're predominantly, you know, UTRIP, and so now maybe it's changing.
Nah, it's really in the Northeast. The dominant player in the Northeast up there is PG for the youth, and so we have the most directors up there. Mm-hmm. And so they more than I ever thought, right? They're all playing that Super 25 thing for the World Series and stuff like that. And they have a few teams that come down, but it basically, getting back to what you just said a minute ago, I bought a pizza restaurant in Washington years ago. And the guy had owned it 10 years, and everybody loved him. Okay? I made the mistake of changing the name and not letting him run it. I should have let him run it. Mm-hmm. I changed the name of the place, changed the ingredients, all that kind of stuff, because I have my flavor from down here. And people would meet me on the street and say, I hate your food. I'm like, have you tried it? No, I've never been in there. I'm like, why do you hate it? I'm like, it was just because they hear things, right?
Yeah, of course.
And so, and it's more like that, like on people that are coming to play with us and PG and that. It's ones that haven't played with us, right?
Okay.
I mean, it's not or maybe you didn't get your play request, but maybe you didn't ask for a play request. And so until Saturday.
Okay.
And so, I mean, it's things like that, because we always go out of our way to accommodate teams and make changes for them if they need to, or if we miss something.
Yeah. Hey, you talk about play requests. I know you're referring to, like, hey, I want to play that team. But do you get a lot of coaches that are like, hey, I don't want to play that team? Like,
we don't go by all that. If somebody says something like that, we say, yeah, and we just kind of go about our business. I mean, we're not about that. I mean,
then you give them the toughest pull.
We're neutral.
right after
8
that.
o'clock or whatever.
Well, we're too busy for that, right? To even remember that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're too busy to remember that. So, like, we just go about our business. If somebody needs to play it, be done by 4 o'clock, we get them done by 4 o'clock 90% of the time. Sometimes it's just not possible.
Yeah.
And so, but we do all those types of things. And there's some good directors out there. I mean, it's even when I was competing with Lisa when she was with Nations and Morgan Walker, I didn't know Morgan as well in Beaumont, but like me and Lisa have been friends for 20 years. And so I helped her when she first started with UAAA back in the day when they had the church fields they're doing. And so we would talk all the time.
Shout out to Lisa and Tony, man. They're sponsors of the show. So shout out TBT.
Yeah,
sanctioned by PG, man.
Yeah.
So play PG. Go PG.
Yeah, Lisa and them did a great job. But I didn't talk smack about them. I didn't talk smack about them when they were with Nations. I mean, they ran good events.
Yeah.
I mean, they had their niche of what they were doing, and I did my thing, and we went about our stuff. Like,
Yeah, you
I
always
don't go
gotta
on there
find it.
talking about other people's business and stuff like that.
You
Tonight's
know-
probably the most I've ever done it.
Now, let me ask you a question. My only negative about the tournament next week is I think it's too soon. Have you ever thought about moving it back in March, like maybe the
spring
third or
break?
fourth week or
Spring break
something like that?
It's tough to move an event that's gotten this big.
Not really.
I mean,
if you move it today, they still got 370 days to accommodate you.
I mean, when would you move it to?
For the Texas teams, I'd move it the last week of March.
But sometimes isn't Easter like the last weekend of March or something? I mean,
Have you seen?
Is it always in
have you
April?
seen the fields always packed?
Yeah.
They don't care. Parents don't care. Teams don't care.
Cinco de Mayo weekend.
Yeah.
Cinco de
No,
Mayo.
that's because listen, every time, because later on I'll call it, but here's for the Texas teams. Somehow we always get some BS weather. Always.
I'm not. You're really kind of.
Don't jinx it, bro.
I'm just saying.
Bad. That's
I
what I
mean,
was saying.
Yeah,
There's
you
some
already
bad
jinxed it.
karma. That's like some
no,
bad
no,
karma.
No,
So-
that's him. I'm
know.
PG. I'm
No.
pro PG.
And so I'm
You were
like,
5-12 last week.
we've always been pretty good on this weekend. Knock on wood, right? And so
And you're going to be it again. I'm just,
Yeah.
but I'm just
Until
saying.
now.
I'm hoping.
Yeah, no, you will. Just the word.
The reason for moving it, honestly, is because some of the little leagues start their opening day ceremonies, so I lose some umpires, and then also because it's gotten so big, we lose a lot of high school umpires because they're doing not playoffs, but the little tournaments, and so there's more guys. So
Okay.
instead of a single game, so that is a good reason to move it a week.
So let me combat that because all the high school tournaments are going on right now.
Right, that's
And
what
they
I'm saying.
historically go. So if you move it to the end of March, you
avoid
get more
that.
high. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That would be the reason
Okay.
for
No,
moving
okay,
it
my
a
bad.
little bit.
Yeah.
That would
Yeah.
be a reason for moving it a little bit because then I'd gain some umpires, and then it would help. It would get some of the teams from the West Coast a chance to like come.
Okay.
And they get a little bit more. They're not like Rudy with ZT out there is like. We're just not always primed to go, and I haven't won the tournament yet. And so, like, and he's keeping wanting to go, and so, like, he just hasn't had enough tournaments under his belt yet to be fine tuned, and so it would clean it up a little bit from that standpoint.
Yeah.
So there's a reason. There would be a reason for that.
Okay.
And-
No,
and it's-
because I've always said it on here.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that tournament should be moved back to the end of March. That's me personally
Yeah.
because I think you get better baseball
Yeah.
because there's a lot of teams. Now let's talk about teams that are maybe going to come from the East.
Yeah.
Let's say New York, but they haven't been outside playing,
yeah.
and so when they come down here, it's their first time. And so how do we know we're going to get their best?
And I think it's a good. I mean, we're getting more than likely. I'm adding four new turf fields to our rotation here soon, and then I think by next year I'll have some more turf fields that I'll have
Okay.
in my rotation. So then I would have by moving it, and we might do that by moving
Okay.
it to the end of the month. I still would have plenty of turf. So if it does rain a little bit, I'd still have a little bit more turf to be able to have those fields. So like I could have up to 12 more turf fields by next year.
Okay.
And so, in addition to what I lost, right? And so then we can coordinate that a little bit better. But anyway,
Just think about it.
Any thoughts about like
Just
maybe
think about
changing like the dates instead of like starting like like a Friday, Saturday till Monday, or maybe moving it up like a Wednesday, Thursday, and be done like Sunday.
No, and the reason we go Monday and not Friday, like
Yeah.
the Louisiana tournament used to play a lot on Friday, right?
Yeah.
So what happens is, I'm more of the thought process of the more serious teams that are really gung ho are more likely to miss a day of school, and so they were already missing a day of school
Yeah.
because they weren't getting home till 6 a.m. on Monday. So it's like let the top teams play Monday, let everybody else play their Saturday, Sunday, and so instead, because a lot of times you're playing the teams that aren't going to make it to the third day, they're playing on Friday.
Right.
And so, and this just kind of pushes it forward a little bit. And other teams are playing Friday night. So I do like the Monday.
Okay.
Hey, and if I've offended,
like it too.
And if I've offended anybody tonight, it's all in fun.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we're just having fun. We're just having fun in here. I love everybody. I love everybody. It was all in jest. Everything's in jest.
No, but it was something that I always bring up about the tournament. I mean, I think it's a damn good tournament. I just, I think it would be a better tournament if it was at the end of March. But that's just my personal opinion. But think about it. That's it.
And this year could be the year they're like, hey, dude, I mean, we've got 700-800 teams,
Yeah.
and like I have fields for 850 teams.
Yeah.
But the umpire is part of it, and part of it is because of opening day and because of the high school tournaments.
Yeah, they're all going on right now.
At 550 teams, I'm okay. We can still do both. And so at 650, 750, 800 teams, it's kind of
Hey,
a
I
little
mean,
sketchy.
I know you still want your AA and AAA teams. What about like any ideas or thoughts about splitting it? Like same event, just different weekends to
It's-
having a major only weekend?
There's some basically
To help with, like, logistic
and
wise,
not
yeah.
to where we're like saying, hey, the AA, AAA from this major tournament is not important because I like the idea of having I like the AA and AAA teams playing. This isn't always the best weekend if you're just coming to play at Big League Dreams, right? And you're a AA team. This is probably not the weekend you want to do it.
Right.
I mean, or if you want to play at Premier or at Baseball USA, because this is really one of those weekends where it's really geared more towards the major teams, where the rest of the weekends we're still taking care of the major teams, but we're still taking care of everybody. Okay, the AA, AAA, everybody. where this big national event like this, you are really geared more towards those teams traveling in,
Right.
and so. And it's not, so that's what I was saying about as far as offending anybody thinking like, hey, he doesn't care about the AA teams, because it's nice to see what I feel is, because there's some places around the country that just do the majors and they end up with 200 teams. No one's excited. The other teams aren't really that excited about playing in a 200 team tournament. And so so when you have 500 teams, 600 teams, 700 teams, it's a better event, right? It's just more like, wow, they had 700 teams and I played in that tournament. It's just more of a thing, I think, and it's from a marketing standpoint, basically, for the event. And so that's why I like having it all together. If we can manage to have enough umpires and enough fields and all of that.
Okay.
And now, if I run out of umpires this time and we don't do it, then yeah, definitely like, oh, like, hey, we're gonna split up the AA's for next weekend.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, just think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, think about it. Put everybody in one part.
Yeah.
At the rack.
Well, but the majors like this weekend are this next weekend. The majors are really kind of they're pretty centralized for the most part. There's not a lot of running. There's really not a lot of running around.
Yeah. Well, it's always been like that way.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Well, if we had Siena
It'd be even better.
and BLD, if we had Siena and BLD, like literally, I like to have all of the 11U in one spot, all the 10U in one spot, all the 12U in one spot. That's a fun event.
Hell yeah.
But losing those parks, it really kind of puts some pressure on us to be able to have enough of the right fields to keep them there, right? And so now and that's part of the reason too of having the team gate is like now if I'm playing at Baseball USA and I'm an 11-year-old team and there's 3 fields of 11-year-olds out of the rack, more than likely I'm going to the rack to watch those games. Okay, and that may happen a little bit more this year than it's ever happened for us, because in the past it was all the 11-year-olds were at Baseball USA.
Yeah.
10-year-olds were at Siena. 12-year-olds were at BLD. Everybody else was at Premier. And so we had it separated pretty good where you're your own little bubble, basically.
Yeah.
Because last year, I mean, at Siena for the 10U, I mean, it went down, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, it was
the last
badass.
The last 3 years has been nice over there.
It's fun. I mean, when you have all those teams there, even back in the fall when we had, well, there was only 12 teams in town, but we had really good 11-year-old teams in town, and they were just right there at those 2 fields at Premier.
Yeah.
And that was a good time. All those teams, everybody just showed up, and you played with your buddies and went and watched your buddy's game. I was there for 2 whole days of watching those games. It was fun.
Yeah. It's going to be fun next week.
You going to do any media stuff this year or no?
As far as what?
Like guys taking pictures and stuff like that?
No, we're still doing the Facebook stuff where we're doing the MVPs of the games and stuff like that. We're putting those out on social media for that and that. The little kids, I mean, let's be honest, the Twitter stuff and that, and even the stuff we're doing on Facebook, it's the family that's getting it, right?
Yeah.
They're not, if I'm in high school and I go to a high school game and you're putting me on Twitter, how many scouts are watching me? Seriously? I mean, you go watch how many people viewed those Twitter feeds. It's always 8 people from your family. So, I mean, everybody's doing that stuff now.
Yeah.
And so,
Okay.
Although
my opinion.
I would disagree on the Twitter for the high school and the college. That's a big tool that they're using, and it's very underrated. I'm just telling you.
But everybody's doing it.
Yeah, I mean, but that's where you have. If you're a high school person, you have to be on Twitter. I learned that the hard way. And Facebook's not it. Instagram's not it.
No, for the high school stuff, definitely.
Yeah. And I'm just talking about
there's other mediums to do that stuff.
Correct.
I'm just saying when you're videoing the one kid that's having an at bat, okay, and you're putting it on Twitter, who's really seeing that? That's what I'm saying.
Okay,
Now you can forward that Twitter video that somebody put on there, right? Yeah. And you can forward that to some coaches, and it came from somebody, right? But like, how many coaches are sitting there during the weekend looking at Twitter to see what somebody did something at Premier? I mean, I don't know that there's that many guys. Now, if you called the guy and you already had the relationship with the coach, and like, hey, I'm gonna have this at bat on this game, check me out. If they happen to see me, then maybe.
Okay, so I have this question for you. With this tournament being so big, how come that dude who does all the interviews and all that stuff for PG, is he going to be down here?
It's supposed to be.
Okay. And he's going to be walking around talking to kids, or what's he going to do?
I don't know what he does.
Because they do a good job in the summertime.
Yeah.
And so I'm thinking if you have almost 800 teams,
he's supposed to.
How come he don't get on the plane and come over here and do it?
No, they're supposed to do 2 fields on. I think we were going to end up with before we got to 800 teams.
Yeah.
I mean, we were gonna. I was gonna end I was gonna end some of the divisions on Sunday night, and then do you were gonna do the video, televise the game of this semifinal and championship on a couple of divisions. Mm-hmm. Now that we're doing so much on the Monday. It's just a matter of flipping a coin on who's getting some video time.
Okay.
And so, like, I don't know if they're going to do. I think they're going to be here all weekend doing video stuff. So, like, the 9s. More than likely, the 8s and 9s will on Sunday if they do bring in the 2 crews. And again, hopefully, he doesn't make me look bad. So, like, he said he was coming. So, I mean, but no, he said he was coming.
Okay.
His name's Darren too. But
Okay.
so I will probably try to televise or put on the Perfect Game TV the 8s and 9s.
Okay.
And so on Sunday night, and then I've got to just figure out how to do I mean, it may be some of the 11s and 12s, and then we go to the 14s or something. I got to see what happens.
Okay. No, I was just asking because, I mean, he seems to be at all the events, the big events in the summertime, you know.
No,
and so
they are getting him done. He's supposed to be here for some.
okay.
And so what he's going to do and what he does, I have no idea. So I'm like, and I think he's supposed to be here Saturday too. So I'm hoping that's the case.
I mean, he should be here Thursday through Monday.
Yeah.
I mean, if he's the face of Perfect Game TV.
Yeah, he does good. He does do a good job.
No, he does do a good job. That's why I think he should be down here, and it should be, you know, at the guidance of Perfect Game. I mean, because hell, it's almost 800 teams. I don't even know the number right now.
And we are having the PG, a lot of PG cross checkers in town for the
Okay.
13s and 14s this weekend or next weekend. So that was something they're doing. I don't know how many exactly, but they were already talking about sending guys in, and so just to track some players and get a look at them and stuff.
Okay. If they're at the rack, can you introduce me to one of them? Because I got some questions about some players that are being rated.
On the 13s or on the
No,
13s or on the
just throughout the whole thing. I ain't gonna name no names, but I'm just. I need
There's
I
only
need to,
one
I need
kid,
to see some
12U
kids.
kid that was rated.
I need to see some kids that are 8 and 9.
Who are we rating? I mean, I don't think they're even doing
You
that for
got-
12
yeah,
years.
yeah, they are.
We're
Yeah.
going
Your
to
company
talk
is.
about it. We're going to talk about it right now.
The
yeah.
people
Off
you work
air.
for do.
Yep.
But
No, because they don't know. Show me, show me on your thing, because I haven't. Because they're like a lot of our
No, they
showcase
do.
guys. A lot of our showcase guys are like, we have to like convince them to do the youth stuff. And so I'm like,
I mean, legit, hey, bro, look, just think about it, Steve. Remember when I put Vanderbilt on Jalen's profile and this guy deleted it?
and so like, I'm like, but I mean,
It's all right, Unc, I forgive you.
we're starting to do like we did this free. Well, I flew out to California last week. We did some
Okay.
evaluations for like 6 teams, and then we're working some stuff like that where we can do some things just to track some stats. They're not stats,
Dude,
but the
this is
measurables.
Look, this is outrageous, man.
Is it gonna come on there?
No.
Is there a grade?
No.
Is there a grade?
Okay.
Is there a grade on there?
Yeah, look,
Yeah,
you see it?
there's a grade.
This is the first one I've seen that they put a video on his profile.
What
Don't-
age,
don't
what
say
age
the
is that?
name.
What age?
12. He says
Is he-
he's 12.
Don't
Is
say
he
the name.
gra- is
No,
he-
he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll give him that.
Is he grad year? Because they don't grade 12-year-olds normally.
There you
They
go.
only grade
I don't
13.
know.
They only grade 13.
There's a grade on him.
That one's special.
Is he 20? Is he 2026?
First round, I guess.
No,
First rounder.
is he 2026 or
Yeah,
2027?
2026.
So he's a 7th grader. So that's why he's got a grade.
Okay.
And so like
He's
if
still
he
playing 12U though.
Allegedly.
no, but he's got a grade because he's 13.
Okay.
And so they're not doing like we're not kind. I don't want to say fight because I don't want to get in trouble or anything. But like
Yeah,
we argue with about like what they're gonna do on these little not showcases, these ID camps we're doing. And so, and what information we're going to put to the public, like that's we're having lots of conversations with that right now. And the one thing that we're not going to do is they're not grading 12 and below.
Okay.
Like you're not going to get a PG grade 12 and below.
Okay.
Okay.
And so, I mean,
There we have it.
What number was that? What number did that person have?
8.
so that's a 13-year-old. And so, I mean,
All I'm going to say is whoever gave him an 8 has not seen him play in a game.
I'll tell you something off there in a minute. I'm like,
I think I already know it.
so I'll tell you, I
I've been
can't,
asking.
I can't tell, I can't tell you, I can't say it on the air.
Hey, stay tuned for Wind Up After Dark.
So,
You got to pay for this one, though.
so, but,
No, I was just. I mean, listen. I mean, you know, and the reason why I bring that up is because, you know, a lot of people go and look at those rankings and ratings and all this and all that, and so you know, you attach a number to a kid at that age, and I just wonder, you know, have you ever seen that person play? That's it.
No,
That's a simple question.
They're pretty. I have to give it to them. They're pretty serious. The showcase guys are pretty serious about what they do. I mean, they really are. I spent 2-3 days with them in California.
I don't disagree. My only disagreement
Hey, I
is
heard
have you
about
seen
you.
that
Hey,
person
I heard
play?
about you going to California, man. Everybody was texting me like, Uncle Darren's out here. I'm like, man.
I'm like, dude. I'm like, I literally like. What happened was like as soon as we canceled the tournament on Thursday,
You're
like
gone.
I was gonna go to the event. And I was supposed to go to the event
Yeah.
Saturday, Sunday, and I said we live in Alaska and all that. It's like the weather wasn't supposed to be that bad, right? My wife can take care of herself, but so like I'm like, hey, I'm going to California, and so like I bought my ticket Thursday. I'm
Let's
like,
go.
and so I went to the PG event on Saturday, Sunday, and then my son was playing in Arizona all week, and so it wasn't supposed to be no spectators. So like I was supposed to fly back Monday. Airport was closed, I believe, and so I'm like, dude, I'm just gonna go golfing. And so I'm like,
Man, look, PG, if
Sorry,
you're hearing
sorry.
this, you gotta give my uncle a private jet already, man.
and so it's
700 teams, they should.
but no,
It's
it's
a charter or something, man.
but no, it's yeah. So
So how many? Okay, I don't know if you know the number, but how many people from the corporate office will be here this week from PG? Any?
I mean, I think we're gonna have the Perfect Game TV people,
Okay.
and then I think we'll have some of the high school showcase guys.
Okay.
I mean, and they're here to look at the 13 and 14-year-olds. I mean, and I didn't even have to ask them that. They just I did
Wanted to do
ask,
it.
but I didn't have to ask. They'd already were talking about it, and so I think Ben Ford and those other guys like that were like, hey, like that event's got all like it's a great preseason barometer where everybody's at, and so. I mean, I think in the 14 we got 7 of the top 10 teams in town.
Yeah, that's pretty
I mean,
Yeah, that's legit.
Yeah.
so there's a
Well,
lot,
good.
a lot of good teams.
Well, I'm glad they're actually coming down. I mean, it's the prevailing thought is that they're always in Georgia or Florida or what have you. Whether that's true or not, I don't know, but that's just the perception.
It probably is true.
And
I mean,
perception sometimes is reality.
Yeah, I mean, Ben Ford lives in Fort Myers, right?
Right.
And
I'd never leave.
Yeah, and so my understanding is he's moving to Austin, like fairly soon. So like more and more of that. We have 2 or 3 corporate employees that live in Austin right now. So like there more and more stuff coming here. The plans we have that we're putting in place here shortly that for this upcoming summer and past are like Texas is very much a priority for PG, and so with having me on board, it's obviously I'm going to push. I mean, I usually get what I want most of the time,
Yeah.
and so basically, yeah, we're getting more and more events out here, and so as soon as I get a few more turf fields and complexes and that, so we don't have to keep changing complexes for each age, right? Like the PGI would have been in Houston had I been able to get Premier, and so Premier I didn't get that date. And so we could have been there, and I could have done the event between Baseball USA and Premier for the PGI for the 9 through 12s.
Okay.
And so we offered it. We tried to get the 13 and 14-year-olds in town also. It just didn't work out this year.
Now, do you think Houston's a destination spot in the summer for tournaments? Because I don't.
Damn.
What's the difference between here and Florida?
Well, I can tell you a lot.
The beaches.
So,
The beach.
I mean,
The
You don't even
vacation.
go to the beach.
but most of the top teams aren't coming for vacation.
I understand that.
It's-
I understand that.
yeah,
But
the West Coast teams are
you
not,
still got to do something as a family.
Yeah, the West Coast teams don't want to keep going to Florida. It's they can come to Houston 2-3 times.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to pay to go to Florida 2-3 times.
Okay.
And so this is coming from Reno and the other guys I talked to in California. It's just they like the fact that it's really cheap to beat when they get here, and the flights are a lot cheaper to come to Houston.
Okay.
And so it's a good meeting point. Now the problem is nationally, it's the same problem we have in Houston. Okay. Birthplaces like baseball nationally for youth started at Baseball USA. Okay, so it kind of mushroomed out from there. So all the north side teams and the west side teams were spoiled from the beginning because everybody else in town drove to Baseball USA to play. Okay, so that's why the south side, and that's where I started out at, being from Lake Jackson and League City and that's why they always, everybody on the south side got used to driving over there. And so to play, so it still continues to this day, really.
Yeah.
And so, it's fairly easy to get to Baseball USA from over here. I mean, it's not that far. It's not
You
that
get
far.
on the Beltway,
And so,
yeah.
and to be close to that range, but like, so it's the same thing on the East Coast. They're all been so spoiled because that's where it started at, right? All those big events, they don't really like to come fly anywhere because, like, hey, why do we have to fly? Because we already have all these big events, so they expect everybody to come to them. So it is going to be a little bit of a retraining, and I think we can make it happen if it's just Texas and California playing together all the time, and we leave Florida out, and Florida gets left out of it. They're going to have no choice but to come over.
Okay.
And then we'll have some good events on the West Coast and some good events in Florida too.
Well, the problem with going to the West Coast is it's too damn expensive.
Yeah.
It is what it is. I mean, but let me switch gears. Okay, so what happened to the complex outside Austin? Is that done? I mean, I know it's mired in legal stuff and all this and all that. What's true? What's false that you can explain to us? Because
I'm pretty
shouldn't
sure
it have already been open?
No, I mean, with COVID and everything else, no. If it hadn't been for COVID, yes. But I think what happened was the guy that brought the project to Hutto got pushed out potentially or something. He left. Okay. So and then he came to Houston to work. Okay. And so it kind of he was the only one in that town that really knew what he was doing, is my understanding.
Okay.
And so I think it kind of fell apart. I think we've terminated the deal. It's my understanding.
Okay.
And so we're in talks with 4 cities in Houston, not Houston, but 4 cities in Texas about they're committed to bringing a big event, not a big event, but a big park to Texas somewhere.
Okay.
And so that's going to happen at some point in time in the near future. Is it going to be in Houston? I think there's a good chance.
It should be.
I'm pushing for it. I mean, I got a call saying, "Hey, can you get us 100 acres?" I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "I can get you 100 acres." And so
next to the rack.
and I did. I actually said I got 40 acres in the back, and so I'm like, we already got 6 built.
Yeah,
Let's
I
go.
know. There you go.
Yeah, no, I was just wondering because they made a big old event out of them going to Hutto or however you say that.
Yeah, they put a video. They put
I mean, it was like
visuals.
all
It
this
looked
and all
badass.
that, and then all of a sudden it's like nobody wants to talk, and nobody from PG wants to talk about that anymore.
But it's kind of like some of my guys around town that always say one thing and then it never happens. So it's kind of the same way. Everybody just ignores it and they go do something else, right? And so they are working on it all the time. I'm involved. I'm actually helping with some park deals around the country that we're trying to we're looking at. So I am in that conversation a lot of times. And so and the nice thing with PG is they have so many people that work for them in the company that have specific roles that I'm not used to having, right? So we have a guy that deals with all the cities around the country, getting us places to play during the next summer. That's his only job, is to find parks for new events, right? We have a company that manages most of the big parks around the country, and we're like married together almost. We don't own them, they don't own us, but everything we do is together. And so, and they're out there trying to help us put park deals together and all of that. So those are huge things from a business standpoint.
Yeah, of course.
So it makes my life a lot easier. Okay.
So not like I said. See, I thought that was a great idea. I didn't really like the location, but because I have a sister that lives in Round Rock and a sister that lives in Bastrop, and I never go visit them because I just don't like that area. It's too congested right now.
Oh yeah.
And eventually it's going to start going out that way. And so I was always amazed at how somebody picked that spot.
You don't pick the spot; they pick you.
Well, I'm pretty sure the tax incentives and everything
that's
else.
What I'm saying. You send out blanket things to the whole country,
correct.
and then you get bids back, and they get the bid, they win the bid, and hey, we do like the location, and so I mean, Hill Country is Texas's vacation area, right? I mean, so people like to go to New Braunfels and over that way. So I mean,
yeah. I guess I don't go there, but yeah. Do you go there?
I mean, I like going out there. I like Austin.
I
it's
like
always
Austin.
different.
Austin's
It's just different vibe. But
Man, I hate Austin. Okay, but no, I mean that's
you hit a lot of things.
dude. Go to Austin. Okay, I'll tell you what.
If you got hate in your heart, let it out.
Non-COVID, go to Austin on the weekend and tell me if you or not. Go down the river.
That's all right.
You're gonna be bumping into everybody. You may as well go right here to 610 by the Galleria. That's how. I mean, you're gonna be hitting everybody.
Well,
I'm just saying, dude.
Hey, we still have no tournaments in Galveston, man. We're gonna make that happen.
Is there any field in the Galveston?
Hell yeah. Right? No?
I don't know.
Any fields? Man, I always see a bunch of fields over there by Moody Gardens, man. So make it happen. Yeah, I think they're like little league fields or something.
Oh, I don't know.
No. You know what? You're right.
Yeah. Put all the double A, triple A out there, and make them feel special. I mean, look, I've always said put one out there.
out where?
In Galveston.
Galveston.
I mean, you already putting us over there by Wallace.
Texas City.
And Sealy.
Dude, it's like what does it take? Like 45 minutes from Big League to Galveston or what?
Depends how fast you're going.
Yeah,
Depends on the traffic.
Put all the
Depends on the
Southside
drug.
teams over there.
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, they'll be all right. I mean, shoot. I mean,
Is there any? I mean, I've looked over there. There's no fields in
I
Galveston.
don't know,
I don't
but
know.
every
I don't
time I
think
pass by
there's-
Moody Gardens, I always pass by this little park. I'm always like, man, it's right by the water too. I'm like, man, that'd be pretty nice, dude. Like,
It'll be like
you
a
know,
Man, that
it'll
wouldn't
be
be
like
blown
a
in.
it'll be like a Puerto Rican
Yeah.
experience, kind of.
the water sucks though.
mine is the
but-
water, right?
Might as the water, but hey, it's gonna be a great weekend next weekend. A lot of people coming in, so safe travels to everybody coming in, man. Like I said, I'll be watching the 10, 11, and 12. So I'll make my round through there, and I am gonna catch the older guys, especially I need to catch that big boy.
So no other questions on there.
No, man, everybody's been pretty chill, dude. I mean, you know,
Yeah, the ones the ones I asked are already.
Yeah.
that was it. I mean, and you answered a lot of them just talking too. So I mean, there's no need to go over that. But yeah, you know, it's I think everybody's ready, man. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, it's and if you're not ready, you're gonna find out that first Saturday.
yeah. And we wanted to do it. We wanted to do this show a week early, just because we wanted to. I know since like everybody might be flying in or something like on Friday or etc. or moving around, you know, gives everybody time to kind of listen to you talk, get a little bit.
It should be a lot of fun. We're looking forward to it. I mean, I've talked to a lot of the teams from around the country, so they're excited about coming in. So
Where's the pregame next week? Is it at the same hotel we did the show from, or?
can be.
Okay.
I mean, last year I offered drinks and all kinds of stuff, and like I think I had one person show up.
Yeah.
So
Well, I'll go if you make that two. But
Yeah,
hey,
man.
it's gonna be cool, man.
Yeah. So hey, Darren, well, thanks for coming in tonight, man. I mean, you
Oh,
know,
good, man.
obviously the biggest tournament in the country is happening next week, and you know, kudos to you and all your staff. I mean, you know, I know you get a lot of shit on this page and everywhere, but you know,
the
good
one
job.
that thing I wanted to say too is like in the past, I don't think people realize it. In the past, it was always my son started. Last few years, my son Lee has started helping after he got out of school. Actually, during school, he was always doing the league schedules and stuff. And then I've had Amanda's been working with me for like 4 or 5 years now. And it was really just Amanda and Lee, and then that was it. That was our admin staff. Yeah. And so we were doing all those teams, and then I was killing I'm right there with them, right? Killing myself doing all that stuff. And then now with the shuffle of our staff, I've got Scooter Anderson, was an umpire for a while. He's a young guy working on his master's. He's kind of over all the money stuff and kind of operations, basically. Super mature guy, doing a great job.
Good.
He's full-time with us now. Quit his job at the bank, basically. Came on board. Another guy, Jonathan Riffle, a young guy, just had a baby. Really got a good knack for helping Lee with the schedules and doing some other stuff. We're still trying to figure out admin-wise what else he's going to do besides schedules and stuff, but he helps do some administrative stuff. He's a full-time guy.
Good.
And then we've got another girl that's full-time doing the Diamond Cast hiring, all the people doing that. And again, we've got another guy he's not full-time, but his pay is full-time basically, and so he probably works 30, 40 hours a week doing stuff. I mean, so like he has another job, but it's a 30, 40 hour week, but he's the one that's going in and making sure that everybody's rosters and waivers are all done before the tournament, so that way we can do the Diamond Cast. And then then the different supervisors we have for the Diamond Cast on the weekend. Amanda's still here, and then we had a girl from out of state that came in, but that didn't work out, and so nothing was ever her job. So and so
I know a lot of them.
And so
Sounds like Steve.
So she like left, and the funny thing is we have a Diamond Cast supervisor that lives right by the rack. And really good. She played some softball at a college and stuff. And I'm like, man, I wish I wouldn't have hired the other one. I wish I'd have hired her. And so then the other one left a few weeks ago. And so like we brought that girl on. So we got like 6, 7 full-time people now, just helping the teams and trying to make this better service and trying to be the king of service, right? And so so they're doing emails, and it's allowed me to do a little. It's allowed me to do a little. It's allowed me to do a little less. And so, and the goal is really for that staff within the next year or two for them to really run Houston. Like I don't plan on being. I don't want to be the face of PG in Houston for the next 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years. I mean, it needs to be that young core, Scooter, Riffle, and those guys, Amanda. they can kind of grow into their role and taking over and doing most of the work and stuff. So I can
You wanna be
concentrate.
what, like chairman of the board or what?
No, my big part of my job now is hiring all the people we're hiring around the country, right?
Okay.
So like, I want to go helping up new parks in different places and hire people, and then still help them in Houston, because this is where my heart's at. But like, I want to just go hire guys. I've hired probably 10, 12 new guys for PG. So
Nice.
PG is going to go from, let's just say 2019, they did probably 4,000 youth teams nationally. We'll be close to, they were probably 25,000 teams total between softball, youth, and high school. We're on track to do 75, 80,000 teams this year.
Nice.
So
Some of the
with the
teams.
people that we brought on.
How do you get hired with PG?
The truth of it is, I had a buddy.
We got to know you?
Huh?
Somebody's got to know you or what?
Oh, like, you're talking about me or somebody else?
No, somebody asked, how do you get hired with PG?
Right now, we're kind of staffed up here, but like, if you want a scouting position or doing something like that, they are looking for people in Texas.
Oh, okay.
So, like, you can send something into them.
Okay,
And so
nice.
they are looking for baseball guys to do scouting and do stuff like that, and especially and work events and that during the summer, and that can grow into more too.
Oh, okay.
What about the scorekeepers?
That just get with me and I can hook you up with Mallory. So she does all that stuff. I put some Facebook posts out periodically for that because it pays like $25 a game, and then the supervisors who kind of sometimes they have to work the game if somebody doesn't show up right. They make $35 a game. So and they're over they're over 4 or 5. Usually it's one supervisor for 4 fields. And it's mainly if somebody has to go to the bathroom or somebody doesn't show up, then we have. So that way they have somebody there, and so. But yeah, we need scorekeepers. Just shoot me a text or an email or something like that, and I'll hook you up with Mallory.
Nice.
Cool.
So,
Well, anything else, Julio?
That's about it.
That's about it. You tired? You look sleepy, bro.
No,
Oh, okay.
I'm ready. I'm ready for this.
He's ready to party.
Ready to party, dude.
Man, dude, you want to list off our sponsors again?
Man, I want to give a shout out to our sponsors, and shout out to everybody who's been tuning in throughout. Season 2 now? We got a lot of stuff planned out. We're gonna be doing a lot of stuff right here with Uncle Darren too. So, shout out to C4 Bat Company, Issa Cookie, Abercrombie and Sanchez Law, Houston Hustlers Academy, Texas Baseball Tournament sanctioned by PG, Senor Spitz Custom Flavor Sunflower Seeds, Diego Cervantes State Farm Agency, and Rig Web Design, man. And shout out to our sponsors. Thank you for allowing us to do what we do, and of course,
Sure.
Yeah. Well, Darren, hey, thanks again, man, for showing up. I mean, I know Junior contacted you, this week or so? Or was it last week? I can't
think
remember.
it was this week. I think I told you, Wednesday or
Yeah,
Tuesday? I was like, hey,
something like
come
that.
on. I was like, hey, but the good thing
All in
about
the family.
Darren, every time I text him or he texts me, we usually get back to each other pretty quick. So there was a time where we didn't, right?
no, I'm always available. I'm always available. I'm nice to everybody that's nice to me.
Hey, man, but hey, hey, we good, baby. We good.
Yeah, we're good, man. So, hey, man, hope to see everybody out at the parks tomorrow. Also, next week, make sure you get your $200 park fee in as well, because you will not play the tournament per Darren Larson. And make sure all your waivers are good to go.
That was in jest, as I said that
okay.
too. So that was me. That was just me being funny. So we're good.
Okay, maybe
you
not.
still need to pay, but I said, but yeah, I was just kidding. I was just a joke.
So, man, so we look forward to seeing everybody out there, man. So, thanks for tuning in tonight. For Darren Larson, for Julio Ramirez, for my guy, the king of select baseball, Junior Aguilar. I'm Steve Medina. Thank you for tuning in to the Wind Up Podcast, brought to you by the Wind Up Media Group. Thank you to all our sponsors. We'll see you at the ballparks this weekend, and obviously next weekend as well. Have a good one. Be good.
Middle school bumping Waka Flocka, all they do. First album, and I know just how it's gonna debut. Track 3 is why I tell her we gon' rendezvous. I'm signed to the gatekeepers. Don't believe the gossip, cause it ain't true. Half of the dreams I had already came true. And they never told me anything I couldn't do. I got a mirror in my room I like to look into. At 17, I never thought that I would look this cute. Classmates can't believe the place I took it to. If I didn't rap, then I would be a good masseuse. Fun fact, but it's a hidden talent cause she rubbing my back. All these different cities, I'm becoming sidetracked. She leaving my hotel wearing something I packed. My wardrobe spread across the whole map. Jay Wise used to book me for the open mics. Kills me when they act like this was overnight. Like we didn't do a tour in a tiny van. 8 deep at the the show, it might be 8 fans.